better leave it to the professionals.
Last by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Body.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. Haven't you done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo and does us a real solid. You'll also find up there the link to the abstract chat. We're live over there, stacking XP and tips, as well as, speaking of tips, Von Front, appreciate you. That 69 Pingo, not quite $6,900 yet, but it's on its way. We get love on the Web3 opening song almost at least weekly, if not daily. And I think we do have the best opening. We lost you again on.
Honestly, I was updating the title and then all of a sudden it just dropped me out. So I'm going to get out of here again. Man, this is like X Spaces is like one of the things that consistently is like the weirdest, like works, doesn't work. I mean, we had Cam on yesterday and then suddenly he was off stage. Like, so yeah, fun stuff. So, and then you need to do a lap because then when I join again, it adds me as speaker, but not speaker. So, I don't know. It just seems like this social audio thing is something they want to get right.
You would think.
It's like their unique selling point. Like yeah, they do stream and stuff, but like nobody else has anything like this.
Exactly. You would think. I don't know. Like obviously they've done a lot of updates with Grok, and it seems like big push on product updates on that side. And I get it, because there's a lot of other competitors. We may fly over the OpenAI GPT-5 announcement. I played around with just a little bit, just a normal daily use. I didn't do anything specifically to try the new, any of the new features or anything, but markets did not like it. In fact, Google, they flip-flopped on the ChatGPT announcement. OpenAI was trending to be the top performing LLM, and the market did not like the announcement yesterday. Mr. Altman needs to find some better presenters. It was like amateur hour, but I digress. As always, I'm Captain Jim. If you haven't already done so, give us some love on the space. Those likes, reposts, and bookmarks really do help. YouTube is live, X is live, X video is live, Abstract's live. These audio spaces, as Steve said, we've been having some challenges lately, so any love on the audio space is appreciated. I promise we will get Steve up here. Well, I can't promise. We will do our best to get Steve up here.
Oh my God, yeah, it didn't work again. All right,
he's gonna take a lap and we'll be right back. But and I got Stream Drop is working once again, so I'm gonna pin one of those up top, mobile Stream Drop, and we'll get things rolling here today. As always, I'm Cap, Jim, my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky. Meme coins exceptionally risky and go to zero to moment stones. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. Know that Steve and I hold tokens we'll talk about here from time to time, including, well, I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but we likely hold some, if not all, these tokens. We're not financial advisors. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, and education along the way. Despite the X Spaces challenges, Steve, how you doing this morning, sir?
Yeah, despite the X Space challenge, good. Excited to get into it today. Green markets are always fun days to be in the market. Then I'm back to backing this one. I got the DeFi space going on after this one, and then yeah, like proud of prepping. I'm almost like I'm at the point in the market where I was talking to Dawn about this yesterday. I'm at the point in the market where it's like I'm like almost like sad when I have other plans on the weekend because there's other things I want to be doing and paying attention to. So it's like I'm not like it's like I'm only thinking about like what can I discover? What's the next thing I can do? What can I dig more into? What can I research more? Again, especially since I opened the sort of Pandora's box of DeFi and realizing there's always more things to explore, things to look at. So it is crazy because like I find myself looking at like nights and weekends and being like, oh man, like I have a friend, awesome friend, high school friend who's having a 10-year wedding anniversary party at like you know, a local like sort of like, you know, place where they have a band playing on Saturday. And it's like I'm going and yeah, I'm excited to like go and see my friend and everything. Although this is my friend, he's kind of he's like a hippie, which is like totally cool, but like basically my hangout with him is either I'm going to be there until 2 a.m. or I'm going to want to leave by like 9 p.m. It's like, there's really no in between in those, in this like particular get together and group of friends, depending on the vibe. But like, I have that going on. And I'm like, man, it should be awesome to see my friends, but like, I just want to sit around and study and do more things and learn more and like be more involved in the market and keep an eye on things and watch for, we had another random mint of some digital fish cooking yesterday. And, like
we missed the big cook of the week was Boss Coin. Crocs called that at like it was sub $1 million. Crocs called it like 600K. I know what's that this morning. Ran up well over 20 million. Man, big cook. And we saw the meme early. Knew it was going to happen. My mind isn't thinking like, wait, what? I don't know. I need to flip that switch back on to be like, okay, daily runner might not run to 100 million, but 1 million to 20 million, like. I'm not above cashing out a 20x.
If you can cash it early. Yeah. I mean, that was like one where it's like, I saw that, like you said, Crocs called it. But that's exactly the type of thing. It's like something happens over the weekend.
33 million this morning. So here's my thing. We saw it, caught it. This is where like, I'm going to make excuses, but I do have like some trenches PTSD in not fully believing they're all the way back because I didn't catch it when he dropped it in there at 637,000. I saw everyone talking about it at 5 million. It's like this could go to 20. And sure enough, the next morning look and it's 20 million. Now it's 33 million. Like that one had enough attention. Like I think everyone knows by now, but this likely goes to zero at some point. If you're wanting to trade viral memes, it's a game of hot potato. It's in and out. It's not for everyone, but million to 33 million, like those are real returns. And there is the possibility, maybe this guy, I saw he's also going back to Ibiza for round two with some other crypto influencers. And, you know, who knows? There's a chance this boss of Ibiza becomes a main character for a brief moment in time. And maybe a community does coalesce around this. I doubt it, but it's got a lot of motion. And it's not unreasonable to think we see something like this, a viral internet moment once a month. This one, like, what do you think is different from this versus the, I don't know why I'm saying Ibiza funny. Took a pill in Ibiza one time.
No, he wants you to say it like the people say it overseas, Ibiza, like, which is I refuse. I refuse. This is America where we say Ibiza right here.
What's the difference between this one and the Coldplay concert one? Why didn't that one cook and this one does?
That's what I'm saying. And so I guess that's my thing is like people need to realize like I need to figure out like what my risk tolerance is for this stuff again, because it's like I don't want a full fade, but it's also possible this is just one that happened to catch a lot of steam and people thought it was funny, maybe because it's more crypto integrated. I don't know. And I'm not good at this stuff. Maybe there's just a cabal behind it. Like I don't have good answers on this stuff. And so
I'm good at getting in. I am not great at selling tops. It's much harder to sell tops than it is to get in early.
Well, and I'm good at like whenever I do these things, when I rarely do, it's like I feel like pretty confident. I feel like I got in really early. Then I'm selling like, you know, my initial investment at a 2x, and I just kind of run from there. There you go, rock paper hands, 150 Pengu for you in the pocket. But I don't know. Like I'm bad at this. I'll probably do what I did last cycle. On memes, I actually did pretty well, but I only participated in like 10 to 15 of them when people were, you know, firing on 10 to 15 of them a day. I'll probably participate in that way where if I feel really, 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 really good about it. I didn't feel great about this one. Like I saw the picture. I'm like, okay, the guy's got a funny haircut. He's based in, like I saw it when Croc shared it, but it's hard because it's almost a volume game in memes where you like back in the day when when Sol is like $60, you fire a Sol or half a Sol at something. Yeah, it's a risky thing, but maybe you like don't have a ton of upside downside. Like Sol's not cheap anymore. Sol's like $178 or something this morning. And so am I going to fire a whole Sol at like a meme constantly hoping to get a, 10x and turn it into a really big thing? Am I going to hire half a Sol? Am I going to fire a quarter of a Sol? Like I got to figure out what my cost and basis and risk tolerance is. I think honestly for me, the strategy would probably be just like set a bag of, Sol aside and decide that my risk tolerance is small.
So Steve says it's Ibiza. For me, I look at who's talking about it. Boss reminds me of Mudang, where these big non-crypto accounts are also talking about it. Daily Mail, for example. I agree, but same thing happened with the Coldplay concert. Like the Coldplay concert was a much more viral meme as far as the broader internet goes. The couple who got cheating and having an affair at the Coldplay concert. That was far more viral in the broader scope of the internet than the Ibiza boss is. Like, I'm not sure if like maybe that's it. Maybe the fact it is more kind of like crypto Twitter than maybe it. I don't know. I'm reaching here a little bit, but
no, that was my thought. I mean, that's the first thing I said. I think the the fact that it's more involved in crypto Twitter makes a difference. It's a little bit sillier, I guess, in that sense. But yeah, like I mean, a year ago, the Coldplay concert meme there's a meme, it's going to friggin' people are like Coldplay concert meme to 1 billion. It's just so it's hard to play, and like I'm not good at it. Like for everyone we've caught in the war room, like I mean, Crocs is playing in the streets hardcore. I think he's had a couple good winners, but it's like there's definitely a lot of losers, and if you don't see him really early, it's like I only want to get in really early.
Why? I'm sorry, complete digression. I just was looking, like talking about things that go up only. I was looking at my staked rect in my Jupiter portfolio, and I have some Pingu, not a lot, but I have $225 of Pingu in a Wasabi liquidity pool. I don't remember ever doing that.
Is it fake Pengu or does it have real value? If you try to swap it, you get no swap value because there's multiple fake Pengu. Like I got like one fake Pengu in my Phantom like a month. That's just like makes it look like I'm super rich.
It says S Pingu, 267 holders. So yeah, probably fake, but
yeah, that sounds fake. I mean, I was down horrendously. I was depositing some money into a Katana vault yesterday, and it showed me like. I mean,
this is what I need to do this weekend, Steve. Is I need to go and find the random $20 to $250 I have throughout blockchains, a variety of blockchains that I just
Relay fixes this. I did this a little bit yesterday to get some more cash to throw into the USDF.
I think it's great. I don't know if it's so many different wallets as well. This is where I struggle. Like Relay's great. I agree. Yeah, I need to go. Like I had some virtuals ecosystem. Boy, what happened to IMF? That I talk about not selling tops. I missed that one. That thing has gotten crushed after running up. Sorry, I'm looking at wallets here and getting a lot of base virtuals though. Like there's a bunch in there. It's like 40, 50, 20. I was swapping. There's a Santa. I have no idea where it came from. It's $20. Like that's easy to swap on, do the OpenSea farms and pick up some more Billy or Rect. But I just, there's a lot of this that's like, I'm sure I still have some Blast. I have some Blur stake somewhere. Like I just need to go liquidate all that and put it into something like Rect or Billy that I have conviction in and just forget about it.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, I go through, usually I can get like, if you go to all chains on Relay, you get a little bit of a look. I will say there's like, I forget what the portfolio site is, but I used one yesterday to try to check stuff. It says I have like $500 on Arbitrum somewhere. I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it. I've looked through all the chains. I've tried to do everything. Can't find it anywhere. But the down horrendously is like,
we fully realize these are first world problems. We're finding $500 in our virtual couch cushions, and it's not, we're not complaining. We're grateful for the lost monies that we should just be a little better actively managing.
Yeah, no, I have the moments where it's like I was going to swap something and it made it look like I had like a couple $1,000s worth of some random coin, which really wasn't liquid when I went to go swap it because the site didn't like eliminate coins that are like fake. And I was just like, oh my God, down horrendously, like looking at this and thinking I've got all this money here, but it's fake. But yeah, the Pengu one will do that. I get a fake Pengu like regularly. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I had some more Pengu sitting here. And then I go to swap it and I'm like, oh, I do not. So not ideal, but Musty might be able to hear up here to educate us on why Ibiza ran, but other memes don't. Musty GM.
I have no clue. That meme fucking sucks. But I think, Steve, like, I've gotten rinsed on Soul, right? So then I came back and I tried this new strategy or whatever, where I started just waiting for whatever the big runner was and waiting for it to like be somewhat solidified and then just size into it. And I'm not no whale, right? By size it, I mean like $1,000 to $2,000. But this is also a pretty decent way to make money, right? Like you could probably just, I guess, for example, like Uranus. I was watching Uranus forever, but it wasn't solidified, so I didn't take the trade. But now, like, it's being pushed by Meow and shit. So you could probably just take, 1, 2, 3, 4K, just get some size into Uranus, just take like a 50% or less, and then just get out, right? Instead of trying to chase the next runner or deciding, are you trying to do the mental gymnastics? Is the meme good? This and that, right? All this other bullshit, like Uranus and like Splat. I think those are like two pretty good tokens right now that you could just get some size into and just kind of chill.
We're also going to get a good take, whether it's pumping your Uranus bags or otherwise.
I don't own any of this shit, by the way. I got completely destroyed on Sol recently, and I fucking took I literally own a half a Sol now. I fucking hate that chain.
The other thing I think is going to be interesting, see how this plays out. See, this just came out last night at 7 p.m. The Glassful Foundation, introduced by Pump Fun, says the Glassful Foundation aims to accelerate the most organic, vibrant, and promising communities in the Pump Fun ecosystem. GFF will inject significant, all caps, liquidity into ecosystem tokens that support our most diehard cults. Learn more. Mission of growing the Solana ecosystem exponentially. Foundation's already begun with several projects receiving initial support and will continue deploying capital. So when you've got these launch pads that have billions of dollars of liquidity, like things could get crazy. Like it will. I mean, I don't know how to play it, but like I'm not saying it's a pump and dump, but because I don't think they sell those tokens. Like I wouldn't imagine Pump Fun's going to sell them, but I don't know. I don't know if you have thoughts on that with Pump Fun's.
Yeah, it's what you have to do, right? It's kind of like what the Bonk guys were doing. Like the Bonk guys were very active, and the entire Bonk launches, they were all just basically insider crime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just they launch some shit and they go support it with their they support it with their wallets and they support it with their voices, right? Elon just has to do the same thing. Pump Fun has the most mind share regardless, right? So as long as he goes and pumps whatever those tokens are, like I don't know what the play is though. Like, I mean, there's a whole list, right? Like he made the banner, so there's like Ket, and there's like all these fucking tokens, right? So like, what is the play there? You know, dumping money into every single one probably isn't. If you own one, probably just continue to size into it. If you want, I can post. I have one of my timeline quants. He basically made a watch list of what to keep your eyes on for what Elon might, pump some money into. And the guy is very, very accurate, like full-time trader or whatever. Like Schwag may be a good bet because the IP is still so prominent in the space. Things like this, right?
We also have some really good takes here. I appreciate all the chat. I'll go to Dobbins first, and I'm not gonna screenshot, but I'll comment on some war room posts. Dobbins says the final boss was funny, and the cool play was tragic humor, bit different, but in hindsight, it's clear and memeable. And then we also got from Phonics and the Worm says the Coldplay cheater was a terrible ticker. It was called Caught in 4K. So nothing that links to Coldplay concert for the normies. I agree. You're right. Tickers matter. I mean, like when we're talking memes and memes are going to run, I do think the ticker matters. And yeah, the viral instance was different. One is, while we might have chuckled at it, tragic humor is a good way to put it. And Visa Boss just funny. Also, getting a lot of double, triple tapping Rabby as the best place to find random stuff you have on the internet. Joey says, "Starta, where's my money bookmarks?" And last but not least, Musty, appreciate you as always coming up. You got a lot of fans in the chat. Get some size into Uranus. Please clip that. I've been watching Uranus forever. Put size into Uranus. It's the people love it. So
Musty going hard. Musty going hard on Uranus.
Yo, Cap, do you own IMF? You bought that token?
Yeah, I bought the NFT when they first launched it, and at first I took out when I claimed it, it ran up a little bit. I took out my initials, and then it really mooned to where it was like $2 a token, and I'm holding like 1,500 of them still, I think. So it was like $3,000 worth of IMF. It's now $500, so I'm down a little bit, but.
Okay. I thought you like sized in with your own big buy, whatever.
No, I'm just free rolling it.
But I don't know what the point of buying IMF is for people who got rinsed on it. Just buy Mog or buy Joe. Why are you buying this weird leverage thing that only weird meme coin whales could possibly even use?
I guess my thesis there would be it's a smart team. I feel I like Clouded. I got a lot of respect for Clouded, and I think. Maybe there's another shoe that drops. Maybe there's something they do with the token to where it becomes more there's a reason to buy and hold or stake or whatever to maximize that ecosystem. If you're not familiar, IMF is basically, it's a way to get liquidity. It's like MemeFi. It's a way to get liquidity out of your memes. And essentially take loans, lend on or take loans against your meme bags, and it's selective. It's not all free for all. They only bring on certain tokens, and the voting process and the communities involved. But yeah, I agree with you. And something happened. There was some. Do you remember what the first crash and it's not recovered since? There was some. I don't know if it was an exploit or something.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. Somebody was unhappy in some way. I actually can't remember. I just remember watching it just go fucking horrendously to the downside.
Might have been just a whale like FSH their entire stack, and it's kind of just chop sense. But I minted the thing for 0.1. I took out my 0.1 and should have sold the whole bag at 3K, but
that's fair. Did you see the Joe team? For anybody that doesn't know, the Joe coin on ETH.
I'm not.
Did you see that?
I know it's
CK?
part. I have no idea.
Okay,
I know nothing about Joe. I know it's one of the IMF coins, but I know nothing about it.
Otherwise. It's like Mod Beta essentially, and I think it's I think it's heavily lagging. But the guy who launched it, CK just bought the smiley face Joe is his name is Emoti Guy. And he just bought the IP from the actual guy who launched Emoti Guy. So it's fully supported by him and all the shit. So I think Joe is a lagging runner if you want to actually look at the coins that are in that IMF thing.
Interesting. I don't know, Steve. I'm really I guess how I'm playing the trenches is if I can catch something, $1 million, sub $1 million, something to where it's got attention on the timeline and has a chance to run 20 million plus. I'll take shots on that. I'm not really interested in taking shots on something that's already ran at 20, 30 million. I say this and watch Boss be 100 million on Monday. if I'm taking shots on something that's already has, let's say it's north of 10 million, I'd much rather it be something that I actually there's something behind the meme. Case of like I've mentioned many times, I'm a fan of Billy because it's a productive AI agent. I'm a fan of Rec because they have an incredible team. Like that's the sort of stuff I'm going to move in with any sort of size or buy to hold more than just this is going to be hot for the next 48 hours. Let me get in and out. I'm kind of like, I guess that's my barbell strategy on these memes in a sense.
Yeah, I'll play very little in these things unless it turns into a major trend that I feel like I can't fade at all. I mean, like I said, I'll put together probably one or
Who's
two.
going to drop the next brand coin?
I mean, it has to be someone who's established. I know we said like VeeFriends would be a good one, but I don't know if they have any interest in it because that's one more thing for them to manage and care about. So I don't know. I mean, who even can right now? I mean, that's the question. Like, who actually has products and fit and opportunity and could actually use it as a loyalty reward? Like, I don't know that I see like what team even comes to mind when you think about that. Who doesn't already have a token that's popular enough to do it, that has a strong community? Like, I don't know, like VeeFriends is the only one that makes sense, right? But like I could see.
I mean, I'm sure there's others. I would say, I mean, Klanos could.
Yeah, but I think they're going to drop an arcade token if I had to guess because they have a whole game.
Yeah.
But so, like, they could.
And maybe it's an arcade game / brand coin. Maybe they do a new mix where it's loyalty meets gaming rewards meets. I guess as far as a pure brand coin play, VeeFriends is the first that comes to mind of the established bunch.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's like an arcade token, then it's really not a brand coin. Because if it's like, because I think the whole like thesis on Rect, which is the one people are jumping in on, is like, look, like it's a coin, track sentiment, reward their holders with it. It's not used to buy anything. It's not used to any use. It's a pure like basically meme coin that's tied to a business that has sentiment tied around it. Sort of trades on vibes type deal, and I think. Yeah, I don't know that anybody else in Web3 has the ability to do that. Besides, again, like VeeFriends is the one that makes sense. But even with VeeFriends, like I would be surprised if they didn't have some sort of like usage for it, right? If they dropped it, because they sell and do so many things that, why do it that way? And also like, VeeFriends has like a specific focus in a lot of ways. Yes, they have a wide audience, and Gary has a wide audience, but like, beverages has a super wide audience. It's like anybody who drinks sparkling water, which is a big category. So yeah, I don't think anybody falls into it. So
that's really what I think is next. Is I really do think it's best suited for startups. Someone that wants to come in and launch a real life product leveraging blockchain tech, and it's just like what's going to be interesting is do they actually follow the full Rect model and they build it out over for several years before they drop a brand coin, or do we see someone come in and say, here's this product we're launching, we've got distribution, here's our business plan, and oh by the way, here's the brand coin we're launching simultaneously with it. That's what I'm curious to see how it plays out. Is the timing.
That's the challenging part. The challenging part is like that cadence, right? Because if you were designing it in a lab, someone would need to like launch a community-based brand, really build it up, then launch a coin to those people, and then launch it as a reward. It's a long cadence. It would have to be a long tail plan.
Related but unrelated. Do you know how to claim rug?
No idea. I think Riggs is your guy on that.
I saw someone talking about it yesterday a couple times, and they're excited because it's their they made it sound as if that's going to be a like that's you're going to be swapping it for Myriad. I still hold one or two of those NFTs. I didn't see the claim anywhere, and it's one of those things I want to make sure if I have some free tokies there somewhere, I want to go get them. If anyone knows where to claim rug token, please let me know.
Yeah, Von Front says someone will try to front run the brand coin before community. I think it's going to be difficult to do that way. Audience, community, product token. Exactly. And so that's why like the challenge is like, it's a tough meta to copy at the moment because like a lot of these, like maybe we could have said with certain NFT companies if they found product market fit.
Oh my God. This dropped in February of 22. What
did? I don't know what you're talking about. Rug?
The rug token dropped in February of 22.
That sounds about right.
Really? I had no idea it was out. So maybe my NFTs were already claimed then. I had no idea that was already a thing.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I think I might have one of their PFP NFTs.
Oh, wait. It says no token. No, it didn't. It says no token has been launched yet. Always go to Twitter and so that they launched a site where you could check to see if it had been claimed, but the token hasn't been. I don't know, man. I don't know why this is so hard. I should be able to. Sorry for the distraction. Sorry for the digression here. This is a me problem.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. Just because I'm also completely I do have like one of the Rug Radio Faces of Web3 crypto NFTs. So
I found one from a guy named Vince. I'll give him a follow here. Vince and BTC. He's got a thread. I'll pin it up top. Let me just check it, make sure it's legit, but it looks to be right. It came out in January of this year following the announcement of the Myriad token. I'll share what I'm looking at so you can see.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish.
That's it. It's just like, so they said Myriad's going to be launched on Abstract in Q1, so they missed that. But there's 3 levels of rugs: standard, scarce, and scarce 2. I still am not seeing how do I claim the damn thing? Wait a second. So it's yield process begin January of 22. So the longer you hold it, it's yielding tokens per day. I guess just without staking. Check NFTs. We might be getting somewhere.
Drop that in the chat for me, because I'm just going to check if my Corey Van Loo one does anything for me. Hilariously, I bought one of the Corey Van Loo Faces of Rug Radio on secondary for 0.04. That was $156 at the time. The top offer is 0.037, and that is now $14. So I must have bought it in the height of the bear. Like literally, that can't be right. That's like a ETH 10x from there. It's crazy. Oh no, 0.0037. That makes way more sense. But either way, I got to figure out how I check on that. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I've been out on Myriad. Like I liked it for a while, and then the site got kind of confusing. I wasn't using it as much. It took away some of my future bets that I had that were like just points based. I was checking in. It looks like they got rid of the daily check-in. Looks like the way you earn points is by like engaging with like Farouk and Tyler and stuff. And I kind of just stopped using Myriad. Like I was using it every single day when it was daily check-in, use your points. And I haven't used it since they did the V2 update. It was confusing. It didn't make sense. It's kind of busy. And so I just stopped using it. Not, no shade on them, but like, just wasn't my, I wanted something where I check in, I get some points, I bet with some points. Maybe I splash a little money in play. And now I'm just kind of confused by the whole platform, and future stuff is out.
The link I pinned up top, we're going to Newman next. Newman looks like he might have some details on this. I did go through the link up top, claim.rug.fm/claim. And it looks like I've got I have one rug NFT left, and I'm able to claim 3,180 rug tokens. No bonus to claim, but Newman, is that what you came up, or GM? Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I literally tuned in about 30 seconds ago, a minute ago, and I just heard you talking about Rug Radio, and I'm like down this rabbit hole at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what you were saying, but yeah, you go to the claim.rug.fm or whatever it's called website, and you can claim all your rug token from there. I've been doing that recently. I think this, like I said, I missed the beginning of the conversation. I think this is a hugely slept on ecosystem, and a hugely slept on project, and a hugely slept on opportunity. I think what you said about the V2 is quite legitimate. I found myself not using it as much recently. Saying that, I think that Myriad is doing really, really excellent things. I actually spoke to the team yesterday, and I was blown away by their professionalism, their plans, their roadmap. I think this is one of the really better plays that we've got in crypto at the moment. If you want to get into prediction markets, I don't see any other way to get involved in a project and get a token. Polymarket doesn't have a token. Kalshi doesn't have a token. This does. As what's most important if you want to get exposure to this, as far as I'm aware and what I'm learning, is it's the rug token. It's not the NFTs are important in the fact that they give you rug token. That's what's important. You want to be stacking rug token right now if you want to get exposure to Myriad for the airdrop. I'm just go on.
Sorry, real quick. Do you know, is it going to be like, is it, if you hold one rug token, you'll get one Myriad, or is it going to be like a burn or convert your rug to Myriad? Or will both exist, or are they is rug going to become Myriad?
Rug is becoming Myriad. Rug is disappearing. All these, the rug token, as far as this is me explaining it, it's not coming from them, but as far as I'm aware, I think the NFT, the rug token, the RDAO, if you know what that is, all of these pieces of the complicated ecosystem that existed is all going to disappear, and it's all going to become Myriad. And Myriad is going to be the one token that fuels this whole next generation of where this whole company is going. That's what I think you want to get exposure to.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I get why they'd want to simplify it and combine them all. That said, I think rug is a far better meme and a far better ticker than MYR.
Yeah, I honestly, I think this isn't about that. I wouldn't talk about, this isn't, for me, this isn't memetics, this is business. Like this is business. This is whether a company can break out of crypto and with a token and go places and break into the mainstream in a way that I'm not sure that many other projects can do. I mean, I'm a huge Rect holder. I'm seeing Rect do this now, and obviously break out of crypto into the real world. And I think Myriad is one of the few projects within this space I think has that potential. I mean, I'd love to hear from other people what they think is better than that. But I mean, I know that these guys have some ridiculous partnerships coming, seriously like impressive stuff. And I'm incredibly bullish. I think people have to stop. This could be one of I think this is a long term as well. I don't think people are going to get rich overnight, but this is a 2, 3 year, 4 year project that I think we have the opportunity right here, right now to get involved in. And I'm personally taking advantage of this opportunity. I'm willing to put my flag in the ground and see what happens with this company, because I think they have one of the rare opportunities to break out. And I think, like you say, I think they have a lot of work still to do with like getting more users. I think this is what they're tackling. I think their expansion into linear is very, very interesting. I think we're going to see more expansions. I think this team know what's wrong and what they have to work on as well. And they've got the connections to pull it off. And the team internally, I just have a thesis in general, like there's OSF Mando and Farouk, like these guys, like they roll together, they're all killing it. Farouk might be the last one to come along with Myriad, but these guys are surrounded, they're all killing it. They're all legit guys. I think team founder is incredibly important, and the teams who you're dealing with are very important where you want to put your money in this space.
Yeah,
and I think these are good. I think these guys are legit, and they've got a product, they've got product market fit, they've got a token coming. Yeah, I'm excited for this. So I don't know if I repeated anything that you guys said. I said I came on a little bit late, but I just wanted to share my thoughts.
Yeah, appreciate you coming up. Great to connect. Appreciate you sharing. And I too am very bullish on Rect and all they're building there. And I'm a big fan of these real, like crypto native teams building real businesses with a path towards not just revenues, but profitability and creating a brand coin around it. That's what started my thought here, Steve, is like, Rug, I think could be a brand coin. I fully understand why they're simplifying things. By the way, 25% of the Myriad drop is going to go to Rug holders and Rug Genesis NFT holders. The one thing I wanted to share before we move away from this is that you do not have, if you're like me and you haven't been paying attention or you didn't claim your Rug token yet, you do not have to claim it now. There's no need to. The Rug NFTs will continue to accrue Rug token on a daily basis. So whether you're holding your Genesis NFT or Rug token, there's no need to move, claim, or convert anything until the Myriad Foundation releases more information regarding its upcoming TGE. Have they shared a date? Are we expecting that at Q3, Q4 in 2025? Do we know when Myriad might have TGE?
Yeah, so they haven't shared a specific date. Q1. I think you should be working off January 1st January 1st. Yeah, that's the date that I have in mind. I think it's going to be Q1 next year. But I think things are going to happen before that to tee it all up. But yeah, that's the answer.
Thank you very much. Diablito says you can see your Myriad points in your Abstract Global wallet. I don't see mine, and I definitely had some points, but I don't see them in there. Steve, do you?
No, mine all like disappeared. And then again, I had like ones open at the end of the year. Like, are we going to have a recession this year? And like those future bets are no, I mean, I'll check to see if it's changed, but like I legitimately stopped using the site after I got confused and my stuff went away. It's like the classic thing where we've talked about, like, you know, you have something like this happen and it can, I mean, now I'm just going and I'll sign it with Abstract and double check. But yeah, like I saw that.
Oh, you gotta unclick. Here's what you gotta do. On there's the 3 buttons on the top right. You got to click those 3 buttons, and there's one that says hide spam tokens, yes or no, and there's one that said hide small balances, yes or no. You have to put no on hide small balances because the Myriad points don't have a balance yet, but my Myriad points are absolutely in there. So you can see your balance. You just got to untoggle off the hide small balances because there's no dollar value associated with it yet.
Interesting. I will not hide small balances, no, and we will let it go. Hide small balances, no. Points. What's it called? What am I looking for?
Myriad points.
Nope, I don't see anything on. Oh, Myriad points. Yeah, I mean, it says balance. It says 50K points, which, by the way, is far.
How do I have more points than you? That's amazing. I have 127,000 points. And
right. I mean, that's the problem with the site. That's the problem with Myriad. Is like I had like hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of points. I had a bunch that were in play, and they were like, "Oh, they're not going away. They'll be back." Oh, man, I'll tell you what, like the pop-up block deal with the Privy wallets, they got to get that fixed somehow, where it's an automatic pop-up block. Like they got to somehow get through approval on that, because like I always have to unblock pop-ups. But yeah, I mean, I looked at it, and like right now, my season 1, there's nothing to claim. I look at my history, and I know I have some stuff that's open, but like, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's confusing. I don't even know where to look what I have open anymore as far as bets go. I don't have anything in limbo. And it used to be check in and get points. Now you don't check in and get points. I wonder why that is. So yeah, I mean, portfolio, it says nothing. I had like 5 open at least till end of year bets that are now gone. So it just, again, I'm not like trying to flood the product. I was very participatory. I was enjoying the points. I was occasionally splashing some money around. I splashed enough money around to get the badge. And I don't know where, I mean, Payne says there's still a streak on Myriad. I don't see it. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's confusing. It's not a easy site for me to use. And again, like one of the biggest things, they're fake points. Like they're not like money, but the fact that I had like 4 or 5 open bets going in through the end of the year on points that I felt good about, that are looking like they're tracking to win. And it's like, yeah, those are gone. Your points are gone. Thanks for season 1. It's like, I'll grab whatever my season 1 airdrop is. I'm not saying I won't use the site potentially, but like, I don't know, Polymarket exists and there's other things. So we'll see, but it's not my, there's a lot of prediction market options. And like I know they wanted to update the interface, but like, don't know where the daily check-in is. Payne says it's somewhere on there. Lost points and my future bets are gone. And they're like, and they assured me they were coming back, but they haven't.
So I think you're making, sorry, I'm just going to buy in. I think you're making a lot of really good points. Having spoken to the team, I hope I'm not revealing anything too much. They don't plan to be a destination website. They plan to be a B2B service. And I think that is going to, that has to be key in your framing. I think what it is today is not what it's going to be down the line. I think that the whole of Myriad is going to rest on whether they can secure partnerships with real publishers that have significant traffic and that can give them massive amounts of users and get massive amounts of data and all of that sort of stuff. I think what the iteration of is today is, I think you're making a lot of valid points, but I don't think it's where they're going, and I think they're looking at a far bigger thing, and that's what you have to give for the longer term. And also it's still relatively new. I mean, Polymarket's been going for an incredibly long time, right? Like much longer. Kalshi personally, I don't know a single person that uses it. Where else can you invest in prediction markets. And I mean, if prediction markets is going to be like betting, okay, and we've seen the rise of sports betting. I mean, it's also taken DraftKings, FanDuel an incredibly long time to get where they are, but now where they are, they're immovable. They're at the top. And I think betting on good teams who have the right vision, even if the product isn't perfect today, I think this is why this opportunity stands out. And the other teams that do have prediction markets and tokens, they're not even on that level. They're far below. So I just don't know. If you could get access to a poly market and get invested in that, great. But I don't think that's possible. And I think you have to look at this as the new betting market. And if this is what it's going to be, this is enormous. It's massive. And we're at the very, very foundation of this stuff. And I think Myriad is here for the long term. So that's why, again, I think you've got valid points on your criticism of what it is today, but you have to think out 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and have a bit of faith. That's what I'd counter it.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly early. Oh, go Cap.
I think the B2B approach is interesting. I'll be curious to see how that plays out. And again, appreciate you coming up and helping us get a little more knowledge on what is happening over there. And it's good to know I have some Rogue tokens. We did get go ahead if you had any other thoughts. I just say we got some breaking news like a half hour ago as well, Steve.
No, why don't you hit that, and then we should probably speed run some segments because I know we got a guest coming on.
Just announced on International Cat Day, Cool Cats have some new board members and some new investors. Yatsu says Cool Cats has always been an iconic brand in the NFT space. Together with Cogs, we have taken a majority interest and would join the board a majority interest. So Animoca bought the majority interest of Cool Cats. Excited to help develop the next chapter in this close collaboration between Mocha Network, Animoca Brands. This is the official announcement from Animoca. We have strategically invested in Cool Cats together with Coin Operated Group. That's what COG is. We aim to, I don't know who's behind that. It's first time I'm seeing this, or first time being familiar with it. Coin Operated Group. Anyways, we aim to foster innovation and develop new market opportunities for Cool Cats with a rapidly evolving NFT landscape. Following the investment, our executive chairman and co-founder Yatsu and project lead of Mocha, Tyler Durden, will join Cool Cats board to help shape the next chapter. Stay tuned for more perks coming your way if you are a Mocha or Cool Cat holder. Thoughts, Steve?
Cool. I mean, I don't know. Like, Yatsu didn't do the period space before doing an @ tag. So 3,000 views on that with major retweets is kind of funny. I don't know. I have no cats. I don't feel anything for the Cool Cats. I'm rooting for them. Maybe it'll be good. It does feel like it is a more international vibe on the Cool Cat as far as the style goes. I could see it being successful in, places like, in potentially other, like, sort of like the Asian market, just based on the style of it.
I agree.
So yeah, maybe.
I mean, dude, you're walking around Hong Kong, you see freaking, I can't even remember the name. It's so bad. Danny, what was the guy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Someone in the war room, help me out. Who am I talking about?
What are you talking? What are you trying to say? Give me clues.
There's another artist. It's not Cool Cats. There's another artist. I think it's got cool in the name. He launched an NFT.
Cool Man's Universe.
Cool Man's Universe, yeah. And not Danny Yang, no. Who's the founder from Cool Man's Universe?
I don't know. I was never in that one.
Anyways, his art's all over Hong Kong walking around. Like, it's just they love IP over there, and from Hello Kitty to new stuff. And yeah, I agree. I think it probably makes, I don't know what they'll do with it, but I can see it making a lot of sense in the Asian region.
Yeah,
I can't remember this guy that said, and famously was on his way to meet with Disney back in the Pico mania.
Yeah, I'm not like, again, like, cool for Cool Cats. I'm like excited for them. It doesn't get me super excited because it's one where it's like, I'm just not like, I don't feel anything for it. I owned one at one point. I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. So,
Klon said, quoted, I quote, "Partnering with Animoca Brands is a dream come true for Cool Cats. Blue Cat has always been a character with a global heart, and I've long believed his story was destined to connect with audiences in the East. With Animoca Brand's reach and passion, we could bring that vision to life on a truly global stage.
Yeah, I don't know. Good for them. It's hard for me to get excited about it. It's like I'm not, again, I don't own any. I've seen Cool Cats go through a lot of iterations. Maybe they could have a big comeback. You know, people buy the IP. I mean, I said it before. I think it would be a really good IP for someone to buy. It's just not my journey. And like, what are they going to do? Like airdrops for cool. What are they going to do? Like, they just see it and they're like, hey, like it's a distressed asset. Let's see what we can do with it.
Maybe they're going to launch a brand coin. I don't know. Danny Castle, Cool Man Coffee Dan. Cool Man Coffee Dan is who I was thinking of. He, not the best, but I may be a little biased because it's probably my worst NFT buy of all time. A couple of them.
Yeah, I never got in that one, and I'm glad I never got in that one. Because I know a lot of people were very hurt by it. So yeah, I'm glad that I did. So I don't know a lot about like that, the Cool Man's universe, but yeah, Cool Cats. I mean, look, I would love to see them have a opportunity to be successful and see that community do well. It's cool art. Like, I think Blue Cat's cute. I like Blue Cat. It was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But, like, I've seen so many iterations of this thing that I'm just like, I don't know. Like, what is it? Is this the one where they, like, pick up the distressed asset? They use the blockchain, but I mean, they've launched tokens before. They've tried to launch games. Like, it's not for lack of trying. Like, I respect they're trying. It's just you haven't seen it executed. So,
I wonder if this word got out a little while ago. Looking at the 30-day chart on Cool Cats explains the recent pump a little bit. It is up 17% in the last 24 hours, but it had a big pump back a couple weeks ago. I'm guessing that something probably leaked when it went from 0.36 to 0.69.
All of those tied to the wallet Pelosi.eth. It's crazy. But no, it's yeah, the early insider trading is always interesting to see. I like the cats if they fell down and were just kind of like a historic NFT with no like value utility. I might actually get one, but I'm just not super excited about them. So I don't know. Why don't we do this? Let's hit daily market update. We got a more, you were talking about some movement already on the cats. We got green days to be excited about here. So let's do that. And then we'll dovetail into a little more,
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8chain, we bringing the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. 8chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time and chop cock for one time.
It's time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap.
Yeah, it's always a good day when things are green. Bitcoin's flat actually at 116,632. ETH up 2% to 39.06. Maybe we hit 4K this weekend. XRP up 8%, the big leader of the majors and mid-majors, up to 332. Solana up to 176. That's up 3% of the day. Doge up 4% to 22 cents. Cardano to 79 cents, up 3% of the day. Runes had a moment if you missed it. Elon reposted a Coinbase tweet that was a reference of Magic Internet Money and the Bitcoin Wizards. MIM, the Magic Internet Money, went up 53% on the day. Pups up, Billy up, Runes having a moment for once. In the meme streets, Pingu down 1%, Bonk flat, Trump up 3%, Pepe up 3%, Sheeb up 2%, and Doge, as we said earlier, up 4% on the day. I do want to, it's not right here. I will come back. We were talking about the Ibiza final boss. That's the big winner. Up another, it's got the coffee with Captain Pump, up another 6 million in terms of market cap from when I mentioned it just 54 minutes ago, up to almost 40 million now, up 137% on the day. We all could have made money on that one. What I do want to go is check those Bitcoin Wizards and see if they got a pump eventually after the Elon post. Crypto Fish, this is this an XP or a OpenSea farm?
No. That was just a cooker. Like I think a couple of people like copy minted them, and then they cooked and they ran to like 0.2 or something, and it was just a random DGen NFT mint.
DGen mints are back. So yeah, it's showing down 70% of the day. But Steve's point, was it a free mint or do you know?
I do not know what it was. I know a couple people minted them in the war room, but not too many. Like it was a slept on one. It made me realize like this is also the lock-in thing. Some digital fish drop. Next thing you know, people are making. Saw someone make a couple ETH off those.
Yeah, 0.11 floor today, 192 ETH in volume, leading volume in the last 24 hours. Base style, pretty sure this is an OpenSea farm because there's 78,000 transactions. Moonbird's running again, up 12% on the day, 2.49. I'm gonna go look. What do you think? Let me finish this. Let me come back to Moonbirds. Pudgy's up 1% on the day to 14.2. Little Pudgy's up 0.5% to 1.65. Beeple had a nice politics is bullshit sale. Floor on that now 74 ETH. Mutants flat at 1.72. Chimpers up 10% on the day. Chimpers could be another brand coin. That could be one that could do it. I can see that going very well. Actually, it makes me want to Chimpers even thinking about the possibility of them dropping a brand coin. But 0.87 ETH on their floor now with 50 ETH of volume. Apes up 1%, broke over 12 ETH at 12.01. And then Base Paint, I believe that's another OpenSea farm. I said I want to hit on Moonbirds, 2.49 ETH, call it 2.5 ETH floor for the, just for easy math. Mythics are 0.28. That seems off to me. I feel like this ratio should close. No?
I don't know what the ratio is on numbers, but yeah, I mean, you're speaking to my bags. I'd love for it to close because I do own a Mythic, and I'm hoping that they continue to do work for those bags. But yeah, it could. I mean, depends on it. I mean, Lil Pudgy. What's a Lil Pudgy to Pudgy ratio?
So that's the Moonbird to Mythic is like 1 to 8, 1 to 9. If my math's right.
Lil Pudgy might be worse than that, or about that. Actually, I think it's about what mutants are to apes too nowadays.
Yeah, I guess maybe so. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, it used to be 5 to 1, like in the bull market, but 8 to 1, 7 to 1, even 9 to 1. I've seen in Lil Pudgies to Pudgies, mutants to apes seem to have fallen in that same range. Again, I'm not looking at them right now. I know you have pulled up. I'm looking at them on the screen, but I'm trying to do the quick math. It's about 6 to 1, 7 to 1 for mutants to apes. So I think 7 to 1, 8 to 1, 9 to 1 is about right. I mean, there might be a little gap close there, but that's what the market's been valuing in the secondary collections lately.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's almost identical actually. Now you say that. So I had in my head still 5, 6 to 1, and I mean it's gonna depend on how they proceed with these airdrops. Spencer's on record saying that's they are working for their holder bags. I expect them to probably get more airdrops throughout this cycle. The last Towns drop, a Mythic got as much as a Moonbird, which is wild. If that were to continue. Now, I think it was maybe only 1 per wallet. So if you're sitting on a bunch of Mythics, probably a good idea to separate them into different wallets so you can maximize future claims would be my guess. But I don't know. I'm not buying a Moonbird, but I guess I'll hold my Mythic and just sit tight. But yeah, I just my gut seems low, but I guess the secondary collections have just faded a little bit relative to the OGs.
I'm a fan of OCG, but at some point, I love my Oddity, although, I'm not above selling it at some point, but at some point, my Mythic and Oddity will probably fly. Just because at some point on these run-ups, I like what Spencer's.
I think he'll absolutely drop a token. I think he could do it. He's just smart. He's learned from all these have done. He's very close to Luca and team. And I would be shocked if he doesn't drop something with pulling some of the things he's like from Pingu and Rect.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's easier to do now, more legally compliant. And I guess for me, it's just, I like what they're doing in building. I'm not going to play the TCG. I'm just not. I like it, but I'm not going to have time to kind of learn and do it. Maybe I will if it's really good, but I don't play the Pudgy Penguin one. I tried to learn it at one point. So I think at some point, if this thing runs, I'll probably be a seller, not because I don't believe in it or like them, not because I don't support them, but because at some point the money is, right now, I don't know what 0.3 ETH nets out to after the recent cook that we had. But I imagine it's a pretty good payout to take the Mythic. And I think my Mythic plus my Oddity is about above 0.3 ETH. So you're talking about, I don't know, it's got to be over $1,000. So obviously, so it's you look at those things. Yeah, so opportunity there is pretty high, for sure. So, let's do this before we bring Joey in because I know we have guests coming on. I'm gonna do a quick more on a topic we didn't cover today, but I thought we might hit on, and then I know we're gonna do that, and then I probably will jump out of the space about 10-15 minutes early just to get ready for 10 because Beast is open mornings, new dad, so he's got he only has certain times he's available to do that shortly because I know we got Lurky. So more Joey, and then we'll do Lurky, which I'm excited about the Lurky conversation because it looks like they're building something pretty cool.
The more you know, brought to you by ENS.
It's time for the more you know, brought to you by ENS. And I thought we were going to maybe talk a little bit of crypto treasury companies with Vitalik saying he supports them as ways to get people more access to ETH. But more and more companies are treating crypto as a core part of their treasury, and the numbers are getting massive. Public companies now hold over $124 billion in digital assets, led by Bitcoin, but Ethereum is quickly catching up. Corporate ETH reserves have exploded past 10 billion, with heavy hitters like Bitmine, Immersion, and now the largest publicly traded holder of ETH, stacking more than 833,000 ETH worth nearly $3 billion, aiming for 5% of all ETH in existence. Wild. SharpLink Gaming follows with 280,000 ETH and is earning yield through staking. Again, both these companies now own more than the ETH Foundation. In total, a dozen public companies control more than 3.7 billion in ETH. A shift Vitalik Buterin says helps more people and organizations get exposure to the network. Whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, strategic reserves are becoming the new corporate flex. And for some, a bet that blockchain assets belong right alongside cash, gold, stocks, and other assets on the balance sheet. And that was the More You Know, brought to you by ENS. ENS does more than not just anchoring your name across Web3, but anchoring it across the internet. It's your identity. Simple, memorable, and unmistakably yours. Go to ens.domains to secure your ENS domain today.
Another green day yesterday, Steve. We're back in the green after the first couple of days in August. ETFs 60,000 plus ETH net inflows yesterday. 3-day streak is live, rapidly approaching 5% of all the ETH supply, combined with 2.5% in those 64, 67 strategic ETH reserve entities.
Yeah. Let's do this. Joey, feel free to take us any direction you want before we go over to our guest in Lurky, who looks like they're on stage. Joey GM.
GM guys. Yeah. So real quick. So post bull, there was a lot of towards the end of the bull, beginning of the bear, there was a lot of collections that started to launch secondary collections, and painful as it is, Cool Man's Universe was one of them. And so I've always had this fixation on watching secondary collections and how they move with primary collections. And we had this conversation in the war room probably last week when somebody brought up how they felt like mythics were underpriced. And I said, if you do the math on all on the majority of the big primary secondary collections, they all fall between 10 and 15% of the main collection. And then little pudgies, mutants, and there's a few others. Some of them are obviously lower than 10% because they're just not as popular as the bigger collections. But somebody did have a counter to that, which is when you look at little pudgies, there's 20,000 of them. When you look at mutants, there's 20,000 of them, right? There's more in those other examples, there's more in the secondary collection than there are the primary collection. Where mythics, there's actually less than the primary collection. So some people's argument is they shouldn't follow the same path as other primary and secondary collections because of that, because there's less of them. But if history tells us anything, they're always going to stay. Even if you look at when Azuki was flying and with elementals, right? They were always within that 10 to 15% range of Azuki. So maybe they're undervalued because there's actually less of them as a secondary collection compared to low pudgies and mutants. But for the most part, they fall right in the range of where most secondary collections are. Right now, they're at about 12%, 13%. So whether or not they're undervalued to be determined, but I think they're where they belong based on the other ones.
There you go. Joey Fowles, breaking. Joey Fowles, Mythics appropriately priced. There you go. So he does not.
I
think
mean,
they
this is not financial advice, obviously.
Like, so
not financial advice.
good explanation. Appreciate that. I think yes, as far as ratios go. However, if Mythics get similar rewards to Moonbirds, and there's going to be a lot of rewards coming, if that comes to fruition, then they could be underpriced.
Oh, I agree. I think, well, so if we learned anything from what people like, you know, Spencer and other people have said, right? Like they really like the Mythics art over from like a mainstream perspective, right? Like I think he's hinted at the fact that like the Mythics art fits more into like their history of what they do. We still don't know if like everyone keeps hinting at a TCG because that's what they do. I don't know if they're going to do another TCG. I feel like it would be kind of crazy to be like, oh, look, we have a penguin TCG and an owl TCG, right? Like I would imagine they want to put all of their effort into Vibes, which already has some market share, before just going and launching another TCG. So maybe there's another plan. But I think from like a mainstream, like adoptive perspective, I don't know if my kids would want to watch pixelated owls in any type of form versus the mythic owls. So if you're going to bet on which one would have more mainstream appeal and could potentially have a larger upside, I would probably bet on Mythics, but I'm terrible at trading NFTs, so don't listen to me. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's what he's hinted at a couple times.
Right on. I think the TCG is coming, though. I thought that he had said on our show that they were going to potentially do a TCG with the Moonbirds, but I am not positive on that. So, yeah, we'll see. No, good stuff, Joey. And yeah, I think you know, where the collection is, you know, is you know, I think like Cap's point, though, to give Cap like the point there, it's like, man, if Mythics continue to get the same rewards, which I can't imagine is going to happen, but if Mythics continue to get the same rewards, obviously in a token drop, it's going to be tiered, but if Mythics get the same rewards or even less than a 1-to-10 ratio, like it's a potential catch-up trade. And kicking myself for not getting more Mythics when he first bought, because I had the liquid to do it. I thought about it. I didn't pull the trigger. And now it looks like my Mythic plus oddity is about half an ETH, which is kind of juicy. Not gonna lie. Like I'm trying to get more and more liquid lately. As I'm playing the DeFi stuff, and that looks pretty juicy. So, but Cap, it's funny, we didn't hit on the Kaido InfoFi stuff. Maybe hit it on the back half of the show, depending on how long Lurky goes. But Lurky trying to do something we've been looking at. What do you gave me a sideways?
What did we miss on Kaido?
Oh, major update from you this morning. So replies are not going to go anymore. So the kind of AI, the reply slop, they're trying to reduce some AI slop. There's some more specific leaderboard focuses that they're going to be able to let you have. So I noticed I dropped off like all my leaderboards this morning, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. Then I checked them and I was still on them. So I was like, oh, there must be an update coming through. So huge reduction of AI slop, huge reduction of reply guys.
I missed it entirely, but huge, a very long, lengthy post here. I guess, yeah, it came out 15 minutes before the show. I'll pin it up top now, but yeah, I will. We can let's get to Lurky here, because this may actually be a good segue. And if there's time, we can circle back to that. If not, it could be a conversation for Monday. But anyone wants to read the full post, I will. I'll drop it up top.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's hit it. I mean, Lurky came in my mentions early on, Cap. I know you got him on the show. You're pretty excited. It's something you've been talking about for quite some time, right? The idea of InfoFi actually being able to apply to audio content, because I think your argument is audio content is worth arguably more than just an AI slot piece on the timeline if we're talking about them for a long period of time. So curious to, I'll let you kind of kick it off with Lurky, but exciting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously we're very biased. Our primary platform is social audio, and we get no credit from the Kaidos of the world and anything related. No one indexes these spaces, and we could give all the alpha incredible 2-hour conversation, and someone could tweet one thing and put yap in it and get more rewards for that. So selfishly speaking, very excited to see what Lurky is doing, talk about this, because I do believe audio mindshare matters. And this is one of these things, like I'm a bull on InfoFi as a category. I think it will extend, it very well could and should extend beyond Web3. It's got to be more than just Twitter. It's going to be more than just text. And just simply write off the Lurky bio, and then we'll go to whoever's behind the Lurky account here for an intro and some background and to dive in it. But we're building Lurky, turning crypto X spaces into real-time insights. I love it. Thanks for joining us today. I pinned up a post, what is audio mind share? We can get into that as well. But before we start diving into Lurky and all that you are building, do you mind just introducing yourself, turn us a little bit more about you, maybe your crypto journey, and ultimately how you found Lurky? GM.
GM, thanks for having me up. Yeah, my name's Kyle. I'm one of the co-founders here at Lurky. Yeah, I'll get into some of the background and we'll dive right in. Yeah, I've been an active participant in crypto since, oddly enough, 2011. That's when I figured out about Bitcoin when I was in college, and then kind of followed the pathway until like 2015. I didn't really do too much with the Bitcoins. I didn't know what it was really as much. And then once I figured it out, I started doing that whole cycle during the 2015 and 2018 cycle, learn how to trade and do all that, and then fell in love with the whole crypto society and pivoted from Web 2 to Web 3 in 2020 and went full time. And yeah, I've been all over the place. I've done DeFi stuff, NFT stuff, payment processing. I've been on every side of it, and now I'm building Lurky. So yeah, I guess I'll get into like how I thought of it and why this existed.
Yeah, I'd love to hear like how did it come to be? Like, I appreciate you sharing your background, your journey there, and like timing wise, my assumption from what I remember, and I do appreciate. I mean, the account has been, to your point, Steve. It's in the chat. It's tuned into our show, and I appreciate. Oftentimes we see these new protocols launch, and it's launched with a big farm. It's launched with a big, some big campaign, and I appreciate that. From my perception anyways, you've shown up, you've been active, you've been in the proverbial trenches for a while now and been supporting shows and really, so I think I appreciate what feels like a very organic launch. But when did Lurky come to be? When did you guys start Lurky?
Yeah, so kind of came up with the concept last November. It's kind of when October, November, I saw what was going on with InfoFi. I knew there was nothing happening for spaces. And so actually our company, we were something different before. We were called Stash, and we were an NFT marketplace on Cosmos and SocialFi platform. And just a collection of things, NFTs weren't doing as hot. Cosmos is dying, those types of things. And so I wanted to branch out more back into my EVM kind of phase. And so I kind of started doing stuff in-house because I love spaces. I don't know if I'm sure you guys remember Super Spaces, but that's kind of how I got my like exposure to, different topics and different hosts back in the day. So I fell in love with that, and unfortunately, that kind of fizzled out.
What
I
happened?
Think they were a little bit.
I too was a fan. Do you know was it just like they couldn't afford to keep the lights on? They didn't get funding. Like I thought it was at the time. It was like the best info on spaces, not just hosts, but like our audience. And I found it really valuable. Do you have any idea what happened or why they sunset it?
Yeah, it was a collection of things. One of the things was founder beef. So I think over time, I think both the co-founders actually hated each other. And then, so how can you run a company if you hate your other person? So that was kind of the first red flag. And then I think, funding was probably some type of issue. I think they front ran it. Like there wasn't the AI technology here yet. It was a lot more manual. I could see why that can be hard. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I led to. And then also, like, I think their leaderboards were a lot skewed. So, like, people were making money and botting activities and stuff like that. So, it's the same thing we're seeing right now in Kaido, right? It's just a different format. And it's been around for quite some time. So,
it's so funny you say that. I never had this conscious thought until just now. Super Spaces wasn't called InfoFi then, but it was really probably, I mean, there might have been others, but it was probably the first InfoFi that gained any sort of real traction and momentum. Maybe you could say NFT and spec, but there was a lot more info in Super Spaces. And now that hearing you describe all that, Steve, I wonder if Kaido took the same inspiration from that. Do you like? There's a world where Super Space was first to market, couldn't figure it out, they found product market fit, couldn't figure out how to monetize it properly, and then you have Kaido and Lurky and all these others that ended up not being first, but build on what was started. But I hadn't had in my brain, I never thought of Super Spaces as InfoFi until just now, and it absolutely was the first iteration of InfoFi for many of us here. No.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the audio side, that's for sure. But yeah, I think categorizing people that had influence and talking, like there wasn't like that. And that was, 2021. Like I felt like that was pretty early. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. I mean, there's inspiration from there for sure. Like that's kind of where I thought of the idea again, because I was like, okay, well, I see, what's going on with this Amplify. I'm super interested. I don't know how to navigate other industries other than my own little niche. And I really.
Ooh. It's not me. Okay. I thought it was me again.
I lost.
Rug?
Nope. You're back. We lost audio.
Got a call? Got a call? Was it a call or an alarm?
No, it wasn't. Thank gosh. But it is 6 a.m. now. It's pretty early for me. But yeah, no alarms. I don't know what happened. We'll see if anything else happens, and if I need to, I can switch to my phone. But yeah, no, I do think they were like one of the early precursors, and I think that they were kind of like the MySpace, they found PMF. I don't know if they could scale it properly. Obviously, founder, FUD, and all collection of all those things. But yeah, I kind of think they really had it on, something there, and I think that AI wasn't there yet, in my opinion, for them, because they didn't really do too much summary stuff. It was more discovery rather than information based on it. So they did a lot of cool things though, emoji tracking and stuff like that. And that's a lot of what we're trying to do here as well. So and we'll get into that and what we're poll and stuff like that in a second. But
that's the mouth. That's the mouth for all of our listeners. Make sure you want to go smash the 100 or a heart. There's going to be something. It's probably going to be a big Lurky TGE, and for every emoji you get, I heard it's going to be $1. I kid, but we do appreciate the emoji love, and we had some fun with it too. Did people game it and abuse it? Probably, but I think it does help. It does matter, and there's a lot of information, a lot of data you can pull out of these spaces if done properly. Sorry to interject, but yeah, had to panhandle for some emoji love there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. It's fun to do that. It's fun to be seen, right? That's why people join stuff and join communities, is because they want to be seen and reciprocated. So, yeah, there's so much we can do with that now. It's so amazing, because there's really these endpoints for Twitter APIs is just so bad, and there's nothing built out. So everything's really custom built for us. And the great part is there is no tooling for hosts and things like that. So everything that we do end up building, it's something that's so brand new and no one else has this. So it's been really interesting seeing PMF with something that's never been built out before. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Oh, no worries. You can ask your question.
I was gonna say, it's funny. I love hearing the way you're thinking about it. But a couple I wanna touch on is there a challenge working specifically through the X platform? We talk about it all the time. X feels like they're always tinkering with the back end. They're not super friendly with their API. We have problems with spaces where we get on, it doesn't work, it does work, and is working with social audio specifically a challenge that you deal with?
Yes and no. Like I said, I think the development of AI and all these resources is you can plug it into this and that, integrations and stuff like that. So we're always throwing stuff and trying new things and seeing what's happening. But as far as the API endpoints, there is nothing. We opened it up and we're like, okay, let's see what they got behind the hood, and they literally just have okay, you start the space. So that's really to the depths of their I believe that their last commit was years ago. It seems like all of their attention right now is focused on Grok, all of their dev resources, everything. They're doing the space race to AGI for Grok right now. So they're missing a whole subsector of their content creation, and it's kind of baffling, honestly, because they reward everyone, all these timeline people, and they have their own little like content creation stuff that they're not working on. So I guess their loss, our gain. But yeah, I'm really excited to like dive into some of these things that like we're trying to help for hosts and speakers and to monetize, and in even ways for listeners to join in on the fun and even earn money while listening.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
I
was going to say, in a perfect...
well. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah, same. Verbal retweet what you just said, and I can verbally retweet because Lurky's in the space and catching it. So I guess question, like, would your goal, and like you don't have to answer this is too in the weeds, but would the goal of a company like yours be to scale audio info-fi, move towards video info-fi, kind of work that direction? Or would you say, hey, like in a perfect world, someone like Kaido buys us, and Zeet buys us, or Wallchain buys us, and then we can be an element that plugs into them? Like, do you have like long-term roadmaps of wanting to be like the info-fi for a specific thing, or would you rather work with another company that's sort of doing the timeline thing well and constantly updating that?
Yeah, good question. And we've actually been reached out on both of those stances. So we're trying to determine like, do we have something more stickier here? Can we leverage someone else's info-fi stuff and we can corner the market? Because like, for example, if we partnered up with this, like say, for example, Cookie or something, now, Cookie might have a little bit less mind share of the timeline stuff, but now they could have something like corner the market with timeline and audio and stuff like that. So that's not off the table. I'm totally interested in talking to those type of people, and I've already have those conversations in the background. And we're also looking for like some more VCs are interested in us now that we're like trying to show PMF, and now we have stats to back it up. When we started doing this back in we started in December, and we started getting a product live kind of like in April. And at that time, we're reaching out to people, and like they were like, okay, this is interesting, but we don't want to see users and PMF and stuff like that. And now we're really starting to see that amp up, and it's partly because of Kaido and Cookie and Wallchain, all those other people. They're breaking through the average crowd to understand InfoFi. And what I've noticed in like the last month is like it translates super easy. They get it almost immediately. So people know there's a missing gap piece in that info-fi stuff. And honestly, what you were saying before is I kind of believe that the human element is going to get more important in the future as AI kind of does everything. And so like things like this, audio and video, are going to get more popular. And if you can connect with your human-based like host or something, then you have a human connection. And it's kind of like what you were saying, like I can just go and type on my timeline. No one's really having this dialogue with me. I'm more engaged in this. And so one of the cool things I think we're doing that's so separate, sets us apart from everyone, is like we're monitoring the human element, where I think Kaido is now figuring out how to monitor like how to get away from the bots and like farmers and stuff like that. So I think it's a lot harder to farm something when you have this human element, and everybody's voice has their own uniqueness and delivery and pitch, and you just can't replicate it as easy as you can as a copy and pasta. And the problem with it, I think right now, is like some big influencer makes something, it goes viral, and then the next 100 influencers hop on board, and it's just every day it's a brand new copy pasta. And so this is just unique because you can have that human element. And definitely want to dive more into that in a moment. But yeah, that's kind of where we're leaning. And as you said about like the video and stuff, so yes, maybe everything's optimized for crypto Twitter, but in the back end, we're doing live streams, we're doing videos, LinkedIn's, podcasts. So we are tapping into that market as well to see what we can do there. And we are finding some success. There's so many different gaps in all these different pipelines. And so, super interesting stuff. And yes, we are a data aggregator of information, but like we want to be a content engine as well. And I'll explain that a little bit further in a second.
Very cool. I am kind of embarrassed to admit I didn't actually connect my account until this morning. But just even diving around your, by the way, Steve, you probably want to, if you've not done that, the link is pinned up top. You probably want to get your account linked.
So I thought I did, but I didn't see any sort of like data on there. So I probably did something wrong because I think I connected my account because Lurky first tweeted at us at one point. Oh, it says points 11 now, so we're somewhere. But I did connect at one point, but I'll let you keep going, Cap, because I will hear more, and I know he's got a lot more about the data aggregation things there. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I'm somewhat embarrassed to admit I didn't dive deeper. I just gave Reverb a follow for the first time. Like, you guys are, I just look. Steve and I are very candid. We share our real thoughts and very excited about the concept. Obviously, us being Spaces hosts, this is helpful for. And it's not even just rewards. Like, I want to be very clear here. Like, would it be nice if we get a big airdrop stimmy? Sure. I wouldn't turn it down. But the data is very helpful. We mentioned how we used to use Spaces dashboard, or Super Spaces rather, a lot. We'd use it in, to know who our top supporters are. We use it when we were talking with, sponsors. It helped with campaign. Like, there's just so much valuable data we got out of these spaces. And we just, for all intents and purposes, been flying in the dark. It's just we lost all that. So genuinely excited about access to the data. Candidly speaking, you guys are way further ahead than I thought after just exploring your site for a few minutes this morning. So again, my humble apology for not doing more research and diving deeper before, but grateful you're here. I do have questions, but take us wherever you'd like, whichever thing you want to hit on first, and then we can kind of fill in the gaps with anything that you'd answer for us. But tell us about Lurky for those that might be tuning in for the first time or hearing this. Why does someone who's not a Spaces host, why should they care about Lurky?
Yeah, sure. Definitely some good stuff here. Yeah, I'll dive into like what exactly we are and like our vision and maybe some like current features, and then kind of we can go into like what it's like to be a listener and a host and speaker in a company and those types of things. But yeah, so Lurky it's a real-time insights platform designed for audio. We basically transcribe the audio content, and then we extract the data that's being discussed. And then we actually back all of that by blockchain APIs. So if a token's mentioned, we tag it at the time and who said it, and then we can put it on graphs and those types of things. And I think it's one thing that's a little bit different than Kaido. Like the mindshare thing, I love it, but it doesn't give you any of the information of what these influencers are really doing on the timeline, other than like they got engagement. I'd rather see like what's the info behind it. But yeah, so we basically monitor like token sentiment, project mentions, like in the speaker networks, topic trends, those types of things. And like our vision is to be like the go-to intelligence layer for crypto native conversations, and transforming like really raw community chatter into like, searchable or actionable insights. And we kind of believe that every voice is measurable, and then every space is indexable. So that's kind of like the rough outline of what we do. And then I guess I can go into maybe some current features, and then we'll dive into like each sector.
Yeah, and as you're doing that, right. I'll do a screen share of your site for anyone watching the video, and I'll do my best to follow along. But as you're going, if there's anything specific you want me to point out, kind of guide me. But I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up right now.
Sweet. Yeah. So yeah, I can just do a brief overview. If you go to the dashboard, there's like the homepage, and kind of gives you some basic analytics of like how many spaces there are, how many speakers we've indexed, how many like tokens overall have been mentioned, and then like project mentions. And then one of the features I think a lot of people see in the Info-Fi stuff is heat maps, and we basically design that based on mentions. So if somebody is in a space and they start talking about Sui, that seems to be popular right now. There's like, let's see.
Here's a serious question. What if they pronounce it Sui? Does that also count?
Yeah, so we do a lot of things to try and all these different languages. So we actually transcribe every language. So like if you're speaking in Hindi and then you switch to German, the next sentence, we'll actually pick that up.
That's wild.
We were able to determine it. Yeah, because I wanted to know, like, okay, there's different pockets throughout the day. Like, right now, obviously, America's kind of waking up, but then you have these pockets throughout the day, like when different sectors wake up. And so I'm curious what Asia's talking about my token, or I'm curious about different, languages that I can't interpret. And I need to understand all of these different clicks. And so that's really cool because you can kind of see what other sides of the world are actually talking in raw. Yeah, so we try to do our best with the transcriptions and everything, and right now the reports go in English, but we can change that in the future. But yeah, so and then below there you have this area called lurked spaces, and basically that just means all of the recent reports, and it's categorized by time. And then the one cool thing I love is the live area. So I've been complaining so long about when you are trying to find a new space that's live right now, it's practically impossible. Like sometimes you'll see it on the side that it'll show a couple spaces, and then like right now for me, I can't see any of them right now. So like I don't really even understand how that works. They obviously are just messed up.
Yeah, discoverability is awful for X spaces.
Yeah,
it's if you're not following, like, so we asked, the carousel, we did the carousel, we asked you to set your reminders. But yeah, for someone who's not following Steve or I, you almost got to get lucky to find the space. If you're not clicking through our accounts, the discoverability on the spaces tab, the X native app is not great.
Yeah, 100%. And one of my biggest things was like, I love, crypto. I try out every chain as much as I can to see how it's, and if I like it and those types of things. And for me to jump from one chain to the other, like I have zero idea who to follow, hosts, how to even get attached to it. So it's like, all right, maybe I'm a Sol degen, but I'm tired of Sol, but I want to go to Sui. I don't even know where to start. And I've been here for 10 years and it's still hard to navigate and like figure out who's the prime people for each niche. So what we wanted to do there is like, okay, let's open it up. Right now, I think there's like 6 or 7 pages right now. Yeah, 5 pages. So there's over 50 spaces live right now that we're categorizing, and we're trying to help people out. So on different metrics on the site, you can go and look up different categories. So maybe you're an airdrop hunter. Well, now we just segmented all of the airdrop talks into one area. Likewise for DeFi, RWAs, DPEN. We can kind of categorize that and you kind of surf and discover new hosts.
That's kind of mind-blowing to me, Steve. If you would have asked me how many crypto spaces are occurring right now, what would have you guessed before seeing this? Like at this very moment, how many crypto spaces do you think are live? Unless you already
I mean, I would have guessed like 5. Like, you know what I mean? Like if that.
I would have said less than 10, maybe a dozen, like 10 to 12. There's 50. And yes, some of these, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listeners, but there's over 30 that's double-digit listeners, and oftentimes, like, especially for new spaces hosts, for new content, like, you never know, but some of the better informative spaces out there have 50 people in it. It's like there's probably some good information, and it's kind of like my mind is truly blown that there's currently 50 spaces just talking about crypto at the moment. It's wild.
Wouldn't have guessed it. It is hard. And I like that you have like a spot here where we could potentially discover that, to Cap's point, because like, I think that's one of the probably most underrated things. And I know we're kind of hitting on it now, but it's like the fact that I could go there and be like, because I sometimes have some free time and I'm like, I want to go look for a space. I want to go maybe participate or at least just listen casually. Like I'm getting on my bike and like, I don't have a book on, an audio book or anything. I almost said book on tape because I'm so old. I don't have an audio book I want to listen to or anything. It's like, I think that being able to actually find a crypto space to listen to, I think this discoverability thing is actually kind of underrated. But yeah, go ahead and respond to that.
Yeah, totally, man. I love building products that I can actually use myself. So I agree with you there. And that's just literally one little format. Like, yes, discoverability is horrible. And then like I'm gonna go into some of these other tools and you'd be like, damn, why wasn't that around? And you're like, whoa, I'm going to blow your mind probably. So I really love doing this because it's so easy to translate because there's such a big problem with like hosts and co-hosts. Like I almost don't even need to like explain myself once they understand what we're trying to do. They're like, oh, wow, this can help me out. And it's exciting to like finally penetrate those types of people and be able to have those conversations. So yeah, discoverability is very poor. And we wanted to like improve that. And I do believe what you said is true. Like, honestly, if you want to try and really connect with people on a really deep level, it's probably easier to do it with less people involved because now you can get seen more, you can talk, you can actually get to the person. And that goes for everything. Like, if you're a company right now and you're trying to penetrate stuff, like it's going to be easier to talk to smaller companies because they're more likely to respond. They're not as busy, those types of things, and then you can kind of work your way up the chain. It's the same concept. Like if you're a new speaker or a new host, like you need to start somewhere, and it's going to be harder for you to jump into something popular rather than like starting to find your little community. So yeah, discoverability is super poor, and that's one of my big things I love to do and go and search. And yeah, throughout the day I'll just be like, all right, well, what's going on here? Oh, there's something in XRP. I'm gonna go check it out, see what they're up to, and then hop onto the next one and stuff. So yeah, I'll keep going here. But yeah, so we have this other area called spaces, and so we do our best to try and find all of the spaces live, and obviously it helps with when people give us authentication to their Twitters. That gives us like direct API access, and like we can basically see like when you start spaces and make sure that we run a report and those types of things. Now, if like for some reason we miss it or we don't hit the qualifications right now, because we only run reports through a threshold, because it costs us money for APIs and every single thing. So if somebody has like two people join, like we don't really want to categorize that, because it's at least right now, because it's running reports. And we're going to open it up in the future. So if there are smaller hosts, we can actually like when we do the subscription stuff, we can say like you guys are automatically into this, and we can get reports for you and give you content deliverables and things like that. And I'll go into that in more depth in a moment. But when you're on this spaces area, it's kind of like your little dashboard. And so you can either input a new space if we don't have it. So if you do have one of those smaller things, you can actually still go manually do it yourself. My cat's meowing. And then kind of here you can kind of see the topic breakdown. So it goes into like AI, AudioFi, Dex, DeFi, those types of things. And then you kind of have an area to see all of the reports based on those categories. Here, 1 second.
So just to be clear, if it's not already indexed, if you're not already indexed, anyone could grab any space, and individuals can do that 3 times a day. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yeah, so we rate limit them just because all of our kind of back end stuff. But yeah, exactly. So if there is not a report that the threshold was met, they can go and like kind of do it themselves. And so we're not like over polling right now. Now we do know that there's information there that we're missing, right? And so we want to, once we figure out the pipeline and add like subscriptions and monetary stuff, then we can kind of go deeper into that. But yeah, so that's kind of how we run the reports right now. And I think for right now, there's a lot of reports that you can go and see for today already. So I guess we'll keep going here a little bit more. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll move over to like the coins section here on the tab. And basically this is just another area to learn more about the coins. You have positive and sentiment. So we obviously listen into conversations, and if people are talking bearish or bullish on it, we can kind of pinpoint that. Now that's good for multiple things. Like one, as a listener, you can kind of hopefully see what's trending for today, what's a hot topic, and those types of things. But as for a company, we can actually isolate those conversations and be like, okay, Kaido, you have a lot of stuff going on with botting activities, and like here's your raw community chatter. Because I think product feedback and customer feedback is kind of skewed. Like if you go and ask somebody how my product is, they're like, oh, it's cool. And then you're like, oh, great, that wasn't that great. Like I want somebody to say like, oh, that's shit, that's great, and that's a real raw feedback. And what have we kind of noticed is like when you're on spaces with your friends and these people, your guard's a little more down. I think you're more real because you're having this conversation. It's not something timeline like I'm pissed, blah blah blah, and then other person's like, yeah, fuck that, I'm pissed too. Like it's a cancel culture kind of style on the timeline. Whereas like this is just way more organic and like those types of things. And so we can isolate those things and conversations, and then go to the companies and be like, all right, this is like your biggest thing that's going on. It's been mentioned 10 times today on this. You need to go look into this more. And so those are kind of the information that we can provide for companies and to figure out their sentiment and like product feedback in a raw manner, not this like fabricated like I have to think of the idea first then type it. Like human element is like, it's in my head, I'm going to speak it. and that can be good and bad. Like, you know, you can be more raw and blunt, and that's why it goes back to like, this is that human element. So how you deliver the pitch, how you know, everything about that kind of makes sense. So
it's
I really like this.
Yeah, same. I really
Go
like
ahead.
this as well. And if you are the categories is pretty cool. Like if you're questioning or if you're curious about like the accuracy or how well they're doing capturing this audio, because like simply, oh, I've seen positive, negative sentiment, you know, charts before. Yeah, but it's all text. To be able to pull this from the audio and the spaces, I agree. I feel it's more like uncensored. It is raw. It's I feel more genuine and authentic. It's not, and it's not also the other thing. It's not AI slop. Like I know there's a few speaking agents today, but for the most part, I think it's safe to say like 99% of the conversations happening on audio spaces, it's humans. It just by that itself, it's eliminating most of the AI slop. And you can see, Steve just mentioned Kaido had a big update. They announced this morning. There's 13 spaces in the last 24 hours talking about Kaido, 79 mentions, neutral sentiment. If you look at some of the other ones, dexes, you know, Hyperliquid, it is the leading dex. People are like, this just checks out. Sentiment very bullish. It's like checks out with what anecdotally we know to be true. ApeCoin, there's an ape coin or an ape chain space almost 1 an hour. I feel there's 6 of them, very bullish. The community is excited about other side right now, and bubbles like it's by far the most mentions in GameFi. Like this stuff is like it is impactful. It is valuable, I think, for many different. I mean, even for like if someone's just looking for trading information. Like I know I said like, why would someone not a Spaces host be? Why would they care about this? Why would they be interested? And kind of answering the question for myself as I look through this. But yeah, this is again, anecdotally, if you would have asked me who is the leading, what DEX is being talked about most right now, I would, without hesitating, I would say Hyperliquid. If you ask me on AI, what's in the news this morning, I would say Kaido without hesitating, because they just had an announcement. So it's you know, I know small sample size here, but certainly checks out. So well done.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I'm trying to compare, like, is it the same exact thing they're talking about on timeline? Like, it's like, is there missing gaps in there? And so like we're trying to see like what it looks like. And I, you know, for the most part, you know, like you said, like hype is, you know, probably the most talked about decks, and likewise. So we're finding out that, you know, it is correlating in those types of things, and we can kind of pinpoint it. And so yeah, and so I guess I'll go a little bit further than that. Like if you click onto a token, for example, we'll just do hype real fast. You can kind of see it's a price versus mentions chart when it pops up. So you can see every single space host or speaker talking about that token.
Oh wow!
And then if you
whoa! Sorry, this is cool.
Over, yeah, right. So if you hover over the icon, you can actually see, like, you know, a little bit more information. Is a sentiment bullish, bearish, like how many mentions were about that, and then you're like, okay, I know Wolf Capital. I'm gonna click it, and then it kind of breaks it down from that talk why it pulled that information, and so it pinpoints exactly why it you know was tagged that way. And so this is interesting because you can actually start to see like are who's early talking about it, and then companies can actually come look at this like, all right, we want to find a DeFi host in Solana, and we want to see like his past reports, and has he moved the needle? Like if we run this space, does it go up a couple percent? And those types of things we can actually monitor, see, you know, if they are moving the needle and those types of things. Mainly because, like, dude, the B2B pipeline here is so screwed up. Like, it's backdoor deals. Both sides don't know what they're walking into. There's no analytics to back up any of their information and those types of things. So this hopefully is one of those metrics that you can kind of see and figure out on a chart and see who's early. So I really like that one. If you're definitely, I definitely would check that, look into that one if you're looking at a particular token and see who's talking about it. But
it's pretty cool.
One of the cool parts here,
or not, but real quick, Steve, we got to give our friends on Modern Market a hard time on Monday morning, because it appears that they marked the top on Hyperliquid when they talked about it on July 13th. But
God, modern market as a top signal. By the way, I was also like trying to hold in my
joke.
laughter.
Joke. We love the modern market. It's clearly a joke, but no. Go ahead.
I was trying not to. I was trying to hold in my laughter because, you know, we got the Lurky account being like, "Yo, so you know, like you could check out a token. Let's go to Hyperliquid." Well, he says check out a token. Cap goes to a Visa boss. He pulls up a Visa boss first, so we just see the like we have a very intelligent kind of like dissertation on like how, you know, you can see the different talks and the way the token prices moved from Lurky, and Cap's looking at a Visa boss, just thinking about how his bags were fumbled. But it's no, this is like honestly like I feel like. Cap, I didn't fade this, but like I saw it when Lurky first came in our mentions and was talking a little bit about stuff. So first of all, good job on the grind, got me to connect. Second of all, I clicked around the platform, but watching this demonstration this morning, like this can't be the last time we go through and talk about this. Like we're probably gonna have to do this a couple times. I may do a video on this because this is very interesting and difficult and novel. And I mean, I'm really impressed with the level of layers that this thing has.
And back to the Ibiza boss real quick, because as far as like Alpha goes, no pun intended here, but Alpha Co-ETH account talked about Ibiza boss. First talked about it on August 6th. Same day talked about it at 8 p.m. Mentioned it 14 times. Like it ended up cooking. Like this is like there's real actionable data you can pull out of this, and whether it's what are people talking about or who is early to this stuff. Like I didn't even thought about like a chart like this, and it's I'm already. Yes, I was absolutely looking for the next meme runner of the day, Steve.
Yeah, it's
yeah, and the reason why we kind of built. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was actually going to toss to you on that. So go ahead. Yeah, perfect timing. You read my mind.
Yeah, the reason why I built this is because like there's so many times where like you have a person of influence and then they have this types of stuff and then they trick everyone and then it the price tanks afterwards. And so I wanted to see like how we can reflect that. Obviously, we don't have like on-chain wallets and stuff like that. But you do have your voice and you shilling should have some type of degree to it. So like, for example, if somebody comes on here and then directly after the space within like 1 hour, the price is down 20%, like, a little suspicious. And obviously there's, black swan events. You can't like one host is not going to be able to control a whole token. Right. So like, I mean, unless it's small enough, right. Or you're big enough. So those are our things, and we're looking into and trying to correlate at least something to and give some more context, because you're just really not. But yeah, I think I'm going to go to this next little area on here and kind of blow your mind too. So on that same tab, if you were to go to like hype and then go to KOLs, basically we've categorized every single token that we have information on and like hosts and all those types of things. So now you can go into every single token and figure out who is the top people talking about this and how I can connect with them more and learn more. And I think like that's super important because like Kaido doesn't do that. And I'm trying to improve on like Kaido's what they're doing right and also doing wrong. And I think they're more of like to figure out like mind share, but not like information processing. So I think this kind of helps you out, like who are the actual KOLs and like why they are it, rather than just like, okay, well, this guy's got 5% mind share. Like I have zero idea how he even got that or like what's contributing to that. So this is a little bit more in depth, and that's kind of why I designed it that way. So you can actually go to to every token, and then there's also an area at the top where you can go to projects, and this is something that would be like something that's not a token necessarily. So you could be like NFTs or a DAO or a media company or stable coins, or there's a bunch of other things. And so we can kind of categorize like non, TGE and other entities as well. So really cool stuff there. And then also you go to the discussions
for accuracy. I can attest, like you saw Modern Market crew have been talking about Hyperliquid for a while. Legendary B check to the host there, Funky. Often a guest speaker. Like I haven't tuned into all these, so I don't know for sure, but I do know they've been on the hype train early on, and they mention it frequently. Like the again anecdotally, but the data checks out. It mentions per space, about 4 mentions per space, and I would say based on Steve and I tune into that every morning. It's like our pre-show before we start coffee. It's accurate data.
Yeah, for sure. And we do want to compare that to timeline stuff. So that would be like where, if a partnership did come, that how we can compare the audio versus that. And now we have a even more important piece to this puzzle. So yeah, I agree with you there. And then if you go to the next tab over, you can actually see all of the discussions of what we're like ranking it off of. And then you can kind of see all the bullish sentiment or bearish, who it is. And then when you click it, it actually will point you exactly to the discussion of why, this was framed that way and those things. So you can go and confirm. And so yeah, love that. Yeah, that's a pretty good, I guess, like little segue for the coins stuff. And maybe I can go into like what we're doing with our campaigns real fast, and then I can go into like specifically like a listener versus a host.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Quick. I know that you got we got like 10 minutes. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I may sneak out the back door in about 7 minutes, but I'm really excited about this. And if I do sneak out the back door, I'll be watching back because I need to run something else at 10. But this is really awesome. So keep cooking and keep going.
Yeah, sure. So I'll try and make it quick, 'cause I know we got limited time, but happy to jump on here again and talk or anything. So yeah, we just added our point system, and our first kind of way is to doing this campaign. So basically you click the campaign area, you can click to see like how to learn how to get points, and then there's objectives or a campaign, and you click into the Lurky one that's live. And it basically gives you a little bit of background about what the token is, and we're going to improve that dramatically here soon. But then there's like objectives for the talk. So for right now, it says like prompt people to sign up for Lurky, tell people you can earn points by referring new users, and like talk about the campaign leaderboards. And so those are like kind of the rough estimate of what we kind of want to monitor from you. And then what we do is like we start listening to conversation, and then everything's based on a percentile. So like you can earn up to 40% of your discussion points based on like the quality of the conversation. So if you're just sitting up here going Lurky, 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 we're gonna pick that up. Actually, we're gonna give you a really low score and might even hurt you. Whereas something that you're having a dialogue between 4 hosts and it's 5 minutes long, and the whole time it was talking about Lurky, probably more in depth, right? And so we can categorize that and give points that way. And then we also kind of look at did they hit the objectives correctly? Maybe they hit 2 of 3, so now they get 60% or something like that. And then we also have a category for like, how many live listeners are here? What are their followers? What are their speaker maps? And what kind of interactions have those listeners been to? And then we also have like, a percent of like how many live listeners there are as well. And then how we kind of rated it is we want hosts to obviously earn the most. This is their space. They're providing their own time and insights and stuff. So they have the opportunity to earn the most points, followed by co-hosts and speakers. And then here soon, hopefully in the next week or 2, we're going to add listeners to that. So actually listeners can earn to come and participate. And I'll go into that in a second. So yeah, we have that live. And then basically we're monitoring this and then doing our quality assurance. And so we're doing a testing the algo out campaign right now to see everything, but finding some really interesting stuff. And yes, I think we've already found some like tweaks, and it's never going to change. Like Kaido's been doing this for a year, and it's going to be a constant battle of figuring out algos and eliminating bots and those types of things. Luckily, it seems a lot easier for us.
I would say I'm sure it's going to be an ongoing battle. I feel it's. Is it fair to say easier to eliminate or mitigate against bots and or just people spamming, right? Like if someone comes on here and, like you said, says Lurky, 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 just over and over again to attempt to farm this, like you identify that. Whereas, and I guess they could do that if it's just a post as well. But I feel especially the savvy farmers have gotten really good at not hiding, but like almost covertly farming by just doing BS, like pointless, meaningless posts, but they'll mention, oh, look how many yaps I got yesterday. I don't even farm. It's like, dude, that is a farm. Like we get it.
For sure. There's not as much information to categorize. It's a lot easier to process. Whereas like Kaido's doing probably hundreds of thousands of messages at all times. And so, we're a little bit smaller. Like you said, like we're only have to categorize 50 spaces right now since the time we are live. So it's a lot more easier to, throughput and stuff like that. So, I completely agree with you on all those points. I know we have a couple more minutes and I'm rambling, but basically I want to blow your mind real fast. So I'll end off this, but we can actually see what's going on inside the space. So like if a listener likes a tweet, if he, reshares your space, those types of things, we're going to reward them. Now we can actually see your Jumbotron, and we can actually see click through. And so if you were like, hey, Myriad Markets and Rug Radio, go check this out. Those people can actually click in. We can actually determine that and pinpoint who did it and reward those users. So we want to increase the host's visibility. And we found out that 90% of speakers that come on stage don't actually repost the space, which is interesting because if I was a speaker, I want my people that follow me to come listen to me because I think I have something valuable. But the analytics are showing they're not. And I understand why. Like, you don't want their whole timeline cluttered or something like that. But as during this space, you would want to have the most opportunity to be seen and exposure. So we want to incentivize those actions. And it's funny because usually the speakers are friends with the host and stuff like that. So it's like, why aren't you helping out your homie?
Joey, he's talking to you. Retweet the space, buddy.
Yeah, I need to, Lurky, we need to talk because this is my old school PR brain going to mind of if you have counterintuitive stats like that, you can do some really cool marketing around that stuff. So I'm gonna bug you in the DMs on that from my my marketing background. I think that's actually a really cool concept. And by the way, Cap, this makes me double down on. I just bought a Rodecaster because I finally I'm gonna do some streams on the DeFi stuff. I'm gonna try to talk to some more people. And I was am I gonna do streams or spaces? And everybody responds, why not both? So I'm like, fuck it, talk to Chris. There was a deal on the Rodecaster with the 4 inputs, the kind of nicer one, and some more adjustments. So he's gonna help me out with that. So this makes me want to double down on it because I think, this social audio, those sorts of stats, super interesting. I know Joey's gonna jump in here with a question. I'm going to sneak off stage just because I want to make sure I start at 10 so I don't rug Beast because I know he has, again, new kid, new job, so he's a little bit off on schedule for the DeFi space. But whatever said after this, I'm going to come back and listen to, and I'm going to go bug Lurky probably for more, and we'll probably have him on the show again because this is so much further advanced. It's the opposite of low effort, which we've seen certain things like this pop up before that are low effort. This is really well done. So I'm going to sneak off, but appreciate everybody. And Cap, I'll stay in the waiting room so that it keeps my whole my recording. But Lurky, I just want to thank you for coming on because it was. I will be trying to connect with you after this because I think it's super interesting, and this is so much more of a robust product than I think I ever imagined. So very nice.
Yeah, man. Conversations are always happy, and actually, we're releasing our APIs today. So, if you wanted a beta key or something like that to see what's in the back end to help you, we're working with a lot of people like you and media companies to help figure out pipelines and what endpoints we exactly want, because we have so much data here, and we have to custom tailor it to what type of end user they want to use this information. And so, yeah, if you are interested, anyone in the crowd as well, if you're a company or just want to mess around and see what we got, I could probably get you a key and you can test it out this weekend. And it's obviously rate limited and stuff like that, so it's not like you can go and pull all of our information, but you can kind of see what we gather and what you could do with it potentially. But yeah, man, I'll talk to you, I'm sure, soon. You're one of the key people I want to talk to more because you have almost 1,000 spaces and very insightful, and I need to ping off you more. Yes, I know a lot about spaces, but I don't have a host mentality as well. So that really helps with the host stuff. So yeah, happy to work more on that.
Yeah, we're happy to help any way we can. Appreciate what you're doing. I know there's a few other things you probably want to hit on. We also have some we got a couple hands up here with questions. I have one question, and I fully understand if you don't want to share or not, prefer not to at this point. What does the model look like? I assume it's you're using Twitter APIs, X APIs. Is that is it a flat rate? Is it the $200 a month, the $500 or $5,000 a month? Do you have not just platform risk, but is this scalable? Do you run into it's going to be cost prohibitive after you do so many of these, or is it more of a flat fee type approach? I've never looked into actually going the X API route. I'm just curious, but again, fully respect if it's not something you want to speak to this morning.
Yeah, no, it is expensive, and that's why I think we don't see a lot of people building this way, because I think you kind of have a little bit of capital and float and build time, and we've been building this, with no revenue for 9 months, and now we're starting to get traction to monetize. So yeah, there's a couple different ways. We're thinking about doing a subscription for hosts, and that would be we get all the reports for you. We can get content deliverables, so after the space, you don't have to go and create content. You can actually share it real fast. We're gonna have audiograms for people as a clip. We're trying to do like video stuff. So take the conversation, throw it into a video generator, and then now you have like a CapCut style content creation of a conversation, and that can be broken up into like 20 different segments in the talk, and now you have 20 different talking points on your timeline and stuff like that. So that's one of the ways for like hosts to monetize from them. And then we've given them the ability, like those hosts that are subscription based now have the option to monetize and do work with other companies and those types of things. So subscription on that format as well. And then like obviously we have the APIs for companies, and so it's kind of crazy. Like everyone always talks about APIs and stuff like that, and then when it comes to it, they're like, oh, it's expensive. Well, I think and in this case, like we've had like probably like 20 plus companies reach out to us this week alone asking for the betas and keys and stuff, because we're really the only person that has all this data. Like we have 20,000 hours of data that no one else has. And in this world, data is gold, and it's just an untapped market there. So yeah, subscriptions for hosts, and then also a subscription style for APIs access. Now, along with a different monetization route, like so companies can hit us up for a leaderboard. We can separate that. We can also take like a portion of the rewards they give and create a treasury. So like if we're working with a partner, we could say like, hey, we want to, be a part of your journey too. Like we'll have some of this portion, and we can kind of do stuff with it as well. So there's that options, and then obviously like token warrants, like OTC stuff, fee trading, liquidity stuff. Like that's also a route as well. So there are some monetization styles coming in soon, and we are trying to work with that. We know that the pipeline right now, we don't want to interrupt the growth pipeline because we're starting to see all the traction. So we don't want to have those limitation actions yet. But yeah, eventually at some point we're going to have to monetize and not do what other people had failed to do earlier. So that is what's kind of been on the radar a little bit more, and that we're scaling to do that. Now for, I guess I know you had to go real fast, but the API scaling, so like, yeah, that is an issue, but we have like, we pay for it.
And you're good, by the way. No rush. Finish. I don't want you to feel like you rush. You can keep going as long as you'd like. Steve just had to leave, but we can carry on. Okay. As long as you're good, we can feel free to finish anything else you wanted to share, and then we can also get some questions if you're open to it. But yeah, no rush.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple different ways for monetization, and then we'll be like kind of exploring that here soon. And then the APIs, like I was saying, is like, yes, there's a lot of limitations, and so like we have to custom build stuff and rate limits and things like that. So yes, we pay for the the subscription for APIs, and then we also like are in contact and work with Virtuals because they have the Virtuals game SDK, and that has Twitter APIs, and they actually have been like helping us scale in that format with the requests and stuff like that. So we do have some like scaling partners in that sense, and like we're kind of working a little bit more towards with Virtuals because they kind of have been helping us more, and can kind of see the vision. So those are like some of the things that we're kind of working on with the APIs, and it's always gonna be fine tuning and things like that, like I said. But yeah, it's kind of the scenario we're in right now.
Very cool. Well, I think probably you mentioned virtual, so good time to at least ask about Reverb, Lucky Reverb. I have an idea of what this, what it is, what it's used for, just by seeing it in the comments on chat here. But do you want to hit on Reverb and how that's incorporated in these campaigns? What listeners may want to do?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so in order to have an automated bot through Virtuals and leverage the game SDK, you actually had to have a token live, right? So that is basically our automated bot. It's our LLM. It has all of our data. If you tag it onto a live space or an ended space, it'll eventually give you a report once it's done, and it'll automatically send it to you. So maybe you're in like 3 different spaces, and you want to a report sent to you for each one. All you do is tag it, and it'll send it to you. So that's kind of what we had to do on that front, and that is basically powering our LLM. And yeah, you can get more rates limits with that right now. We wanted to give it some type of utility, and basically that's just our like kind of entry doorway. And we're gonna combine that with when we get our official Lurky token. You'll eventually do a swap and be able to get Reverb into Lurky. Yeah, it's a little interesting, I will say, but that's kind of what we had to do with virtuals to get all of the leverage and everything. So that is live right now, and we ask, I think, people like, if you have $50 of the token, then you can get all of the extended rate limits and things like that. So if you are super curious, on the platform, like that one might be a route, but there's also like obviously a free route, and you can kind of test everything out that way.
And you can do you can
So
ask
yeah, there'll
questions
be
on Lurky.app. You click Reverb, you got like the LLM UI here, or just tag Lurky just tag it in the comments, right?
Yeah, so both. So when you like authenticate your Twitter through us and you tag it, we actually have a dashboard on Lurky. So if you're talking about something with our LLM on Twitter, it'll actually pull that conversation into Lurky, and you can actually continue the conversation at a later time, or you can dive a little bit deeper and those types of things. So they're they work together essentially. Yeah.
It's perfect. So if you miss it there, the alpha was those posts in the Jumbotron. You also get credit for interacting with, and I'll just shameless shill, that ref link is pinned up top all the way to the left. It's an easy layup to click through and get yourself set up today if you're not already. And you may as well, we'll go to. I saw EJ's been patient up here. We'll go to EJ in a little bit to get a question. I see EJ's been out there talking on Spaces and asking questions, but it's really ask question to Reverb by tagging it in the chat. So if you have a question for Reverb, if you want to get a recap of this space, tag Lucky Reverb in the comments, and that'll get you 10 points on the Lucky. But before you do that, make sure you go click the ref link, get your account set up first, right?
Yeah. So you can, I would suggest doing it first before, so you can get the credit. And then we also credit the hosts. So like if somebody goes and tags someone in this space right now, it'll only work for the first person. So you better hurry up. But you'll actually earn points as well as the host, because you're providing the content to us.
Love it. Love it. Well, again, I echo what Steve said. I am really impressed. You're much further along, much more than I actually thought. Humbly embarrassed that I've not explored deeper prior to now, but certainly glad I did, and grateful to have you on today. Before we go to questions, is there anything we haven't asked you yet today that you wanted to share with everyone listening in?
Hit on so many topics here, but I think one I want to focus on real fast is like the content creation and like helping hosts. I don't think I dived into that. So people don't understand how long it takes to set up a host. Like they think that you just start the space and everybody comes and speakers are already lined up and stuff like that. And that's just not the case. Like you have to plan it out. You have to do precursor stuff. You have to make sure these partners are in line, and that takes hours. And then you have to sit here and monitor the conversation and make sure that it's alive and those things, and that takes time. And then afterwards, the space, after you're done for an hour or two, now you have to go, well, what did I talk about? I was so focused of trying to make the space sound good rather than like monitoring it. And so there's just so many like gaps. Like you might have the space for an hour or two, but the total time spent is 4 hours or something. And especially if you're trying to make content and videos, it's probably even longer. So what we want to really do is cut down that pipeline. So we want to have a host be able to come here and be able to see like what are trending topics that other hosts are talking about right now. Maybe I can get engagement there, or I can see what's popping. And then likewise, like we want to have content deliverables right after, so you can share summaries and share reports and dashboards. And it goes back to like those clipping audiograms, and then also like that video generation. Like we have all this data aggregation, and I'd say yes, we're a data aggregator, but like I think if we can create to a content creation, now we have speakers and hosts being able to make viral content, and that's important in every aspect as a person's trying to grow their brand. So if we can actually deliver that, I think that pipeline is super secure and will help a lot of people out. And like I said, this is just Twitter Spaces. We're opening up to like podcasts and live streams and like video production and those types of things. So there's a lot of things that we can do here.
I love it. I mean, I'm obviously very, very bullish on Spaces and video. I mean, this is episode 961 today. So that said, like this is, I'm excited for it beyond just the host. I'm excited for it for this is, as I said earlier, it transcends beyond crypto and Web3. I can see application use for this in many industries, and especially when you talk about from the content curation and it's just a lot of stuff here. So really impressed and grateful for that.
Yeah. one thing you just said that kind of triggered me. So there's so yes, we obviously optimize crypto Twitter, but like that's not where it stops. We've actually been categorizing like on the back end that's not shown, dude, politics, tradfi, war, makeup, pharmaceutical. Like there's so many different avenues here that I don't think there's any like there's no Web2 people doing this style. Because obviously we're kind of a little more advanced and using the technology. So like there is a possibility of translation outside of Web3, and like obviously that's where the larger user base is at. And so if we can tap into that to some degree, wow, like I mean, there's just endless there.
Yeah, this is I'm again, you guys are definitely onto something here. Incredible start, and we will. I mean, we'll continue to talk. We'll promote it. We'll talk about it. Like this is helpful for many reasons. And I've kind of been. I'm trying to think of all the things that have came and didn't. They had to sunset for whatever reason. Like NFT Inspect, like every once in a while I might have went to it, but it was not a. It wasn't like an extremely valuable resource. Super Spaces was, and there's just been like this hole ever since. And it's a real product that there is a real need that you're solving for, and it just so happens to be you're incorporating these on-chain elements. And this is you mentioned in passing there a Lurky token, a Lurky TG at some point. Do you have any idea? Like, are you thinking Q4? Are you thinking 2026? Are you gonna too early to even know? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we're weighing in like launch partners, and if any more VCs want to jump on before a token comes, or something like what you said earlier, like does Kaido want to buy us out, or those types of things. So we are going through all those phases right now, and kind of determining which pipeline is going to work best for us and everybody involved. So I mean, if the things that we kind of planned on, we want to kind of launch probably sometime in Q4. That can obviously change, but that's kind of what we're shooting for, building up towards that kind of that launch. So
nice.
We'll have more details on all of that once I have a exact pipeline. Obviously, here you can't really say something or hard dates and then FUD arises. So but yeah, we are working towards that, and we'll definitely have some announcements throughout the next months.
We got a quick question from B Epic in the chat, and then EJ will go to you next. B Epic says, do cookies need to be on for data to be shared?
I don't believe so. No, because we're getting API from your Twitter APIs, so you can be more like a privacy-based one if you want. So it'll be able to do that.
Perfect. Are you good to take some questions from EJ? And if anyone else in the audience has any questions, throw in a request. We'll get you up and get all the questions answered we can as long as they've got time. But EJ, GM, appreciate your patience. It looks like you're a Lurky bull. What brought you up this morning? Or again, feel free to take it wherever you'd like.
GM bro, GM Captain, thank you for giving me the mic. GM Lucky, I have some question for you though. Does the API rank top tokens based on amount of people talking about them on the timeline? And the use of points, like the use of point, how do you share it? How do you share the points? And is there a mechanism that detects spamming on the spaces? What are the key mechanisms?
Yeah, sure. Great questions. Yes, there are spam filters. We do like quality assurance. So every conversation kind of runs through our algorithm to see like, is this quality? And we also determine like what speakers are on stage and what's their kind of influence. So like if somebody has lots of followers and it has really high influence, like that's probably a good conversation to talk about and lean in a little bit more. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff, like mapping, like who's talking about it, and quality assurance to determine it is quality. And the APIs, I think you asked, can you repeat it? There was 3 questions there, sorry.
The API used to rank top token, like, does the API rank top token based on the people talking about it on the timeline?
I see.
Like,
yes.
on the close section.
Yeah, so we can monitor timeline because we have authentication from you. So we can pull things like, are you liking, retweeting, those types of things. Like now, are we categorizing it like Kaido in a sense? Not necessarily. And we can do stuff like that, but we're doing different actions that are on timelines. But yeah, we could easily, you know, tap into that and improve on that more. But I think that's something like where I don't really want to focus my dev time on anything. I think it makes sense for a larger InfoFi company to leverage us and vice versa, because then we could have that information to our database. So that's something that I'd probably be more interested in than trying to divert my dev time to building out that pipeline right now, because we're seeing success in the audio and I wouldn't want to switch that. And there's also dilution happening. So there's not just like Kaido and Cookie anymore. There's, you know, 20 of them. So that I'll let them run their own lane. I can stay on my own and we can kind of work together. So the thing is like those timeline ones, like now that there's 20 of them, now you have 20 different partners or APIs and they're all different. Whereas like we're the only ones with this data, like the only ones in the entire world. And that's pretty important because like data is gold. So that is something that, you know, we're trying to leverage on our end as well. And it's working. Like we're talking to the right people, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Was there another question in there? Sorry.
Any other questions?
I just want to ask you, those users, like when you work on the API stuff, those users end like for talking about trending tokens on the timeline, because basically I can't find Solana there, and there's kind of Kaido visual IPC near ranking those ranking top on the charts. So those users end on talking about those tokens.
Yeah, so we categorize like how many mentions are being discussed in spaces, and like that's kind of what makes what's trending on ours. So like if it's trending on ours, it could be different from like Kaido because, you know, they're monitoring different stuff. Now I do want to see if it translates well, like, and I think it does, because like we talked about the hype thing and those things. So it is important to compare, but I do think there would be ultimately a little bit different information from there. So as far as like, you know, what ranks it and everything, so all of this data is backed by blockchain APIs, and so like when we talk about it, a token, it'll pick that up, and basically on the back end, what it does is it tries to create the context of what's being said. So like if it's a token on Solana, it'll listen to the conversation and then determine, okay, this is probably Solana token based on the highest liquidity, volume, what these people have been talking about it in the past, and how relevant it is in mentions right now. And so it'll try and route the best location to that. Now I will say that sometimes there are errors, and we're obviously trying to improve stuff. And that's simply because if somebody doesn't give enough context about the token, it scrambles to try and find what's the best solution. And typically it ends up going with like liquidity and highest volume and users and those types of things. But that might not be the case if someone might be talking about a different token that's smaller. But like, let's be real, like how many dog tokens are there and stuff? So like there's probably 100 on each chain. And so it's, you know, you have to figure out which token it's talking about and stuff like that. And that just there's a lot of data there. So like there is some information stuff there, and we understand, we're trying to improve. But one thing that we're trying to do is like a host can actually go in and be able to like change which token that it is. So if there is a mess up or something, they can actually correct it. And if it is corrected, then we can reward that host for providing us data to improve our LLM. So those are some features that hopefully, you know, if there is any errors, that then the host can actually correct it and make sure that it's the right tokens they're talking about. And but for what I've noticed, it's pretty accurate. I'd say like in the 90s right now. Yeah, like high 80s, high 90s right now to be able to determine what it is. But there are always going to be some hiccups and like hallucinations with AI right now.
Yeah, appreciate the questions, EJ. Appreciate you coming up, and I'll scan the chat if there's any others or anyone. Feel free to throw any questions like it up. I did see one other from Mike C in the chat. It says, "Is this valuable for small spaces like less than 50 to 100 users?" I'll let you answer, but my thought is, yeah, absolutely. This might be one of the most valuable tools for smaller spaces. We talked about discoverability earlier, and my mind's still trying to get around the fact that there's 50 crypto Twitter spaces occurring right now. Most of those are below 100 listeners, and it's hard to be found unless it's like you're spamming your own link in all your group chats. Please don't do that. It's my biggest pet peeve. It's just like, it's hard to get out there. Like, yeah. And we didn't get to 1,000 users a show overnight. Like it was, we started like a dozen listeners in our show the first month, and it grew to a point, probably 6 months or so till we started getting, concurrently we'd have, 100, 200 in the room. But yeah, the discoverability is hard. And I think just that itself would make it valuable for smaller spaces. But beyond discoverability, what would you say from your perspective is what would Lurky be a valuable tool for and hey, if you have 50 listeners in your space, that's not small. Like, not to go off on a comparison as the thief of all joy tangent right now, but 100 listeners, 50 listeners, like picture that in a room. Like, I'm going to take a shot at NFT NYC. I didn't go this past year, but
I was literally going to say that.
Go to their main room, and there probably wasn't 100. There probably wasn't 50 listeners on the main stage at NFT NYC this past year for any of their presentations. Maybe a keynote might have got 100 people in that room, but picture yourself in a room, and now you got not even 100, just 50 people in that room. That's a good audience. And I think like too often be like, oh man, I don't have 1,000 listeners in here right now. No one's listening to me. Guess what? Most of those spaces, they're botted. Like some people, it's their strategy, and to each their own. We don't bot our space. It's just not our strategy. Some like, oh, it's like pay-per-click. And, like if you think Mario Narfall has 10,000 listeners in his Twitter spaces every day, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like it's paid for. And again, that's a strategy. I'm not taking shots, but my advice is please don't compare yourself to even like, we don't bot our space, but we've been doing this for 961 days. Like we have the advantage of time and a lot of loyal listeners. So yeah, if you've got 50 listeners in your space, that's a good space. Like I host a football show during football season. We're lucky if we break 50 concurrent listeners in that. But it's a very good engaged audience. So yeah, I think again, discoverability is huge, but from in your words, why should a quote unquote smaller space care about this or want to use Lurky?
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, like you said, like 50 isn't a small number. That is actually pretty hard to get to. And like, if you are hitting those numbers, like you're on the pathway, so continue. But I mean, yeah, there's so many companies that don't understand their user base or like how to get distribution. And so they end up trying to go to those conferences, speaking to no one. And then they wonder why no one's using their products when they need to be leveraging like X. Like this is where the biggest community is at. And you can talk to people anywhere. I could be laying down on my bed and still networking. Whereas like I gotta go to New York and spend money. It just doesn't seem like the right pipeline. But with a host that's smaller, like what we can offer is like obviously with the exposure to being on the dashboards and having all your insights to learn. But one thing we want to try and do is like, how can I grow as a host? So can we compare other hosts and see like what their growth mechanism flywheel is, and like how can we apply it to yours, and how can you use those types of things? How can I learn off of other people? And those are something big to help them grow. And then obviously like we can still monetize you even if you are smaller. If you hit the thresholds from the campaigns, you can still earn money. And so there's a wide range. Like we have macro influencers, we have micro influencers, and just like tokens, everyone's always looking at who's the next KOL to come up and to be early and things like that. So personally, I think that every person that has some type of influence is almost a token in itself, because at some points they have super high engagement, they're trending, maybe they hit the algo right and those things, and then maybe they say something stupid on the timeline or have an argument battle, and now their engagement drops off and those types of things. So I think that every person's got their own like token essentially and value to them, and it changes over time. So with something like this, we can help monetize you and get those reports and hopefully grow your following to where you're at this point where you've done a 900 and you maybe be able to monetize and get hosts and deal flows and things like that. So
yeah, well said. Even just for topics, like if you're like, maybe you come into your space and you've got, okay, we're gonna hit on these 3 things today and do that. Maybe you're like, what am I going to talk about today? Well, like I shared earlier, Steve and I are addictedly, chronically online. So we usually get, most of this stuff creeps in. But even this morning, I missed the Kaido announcement. My pregame is I listen to Modern Market. It's a 7 a.m. Eastern show, and I tune in and I get, if I miss something overnight, like I can usually get a quick glimpse, and then we'll dive deeper on Coffee with Captain. But now a tool I will use, by the way, I've had to leave this ape chain chart up here because I was joking earlier, but serious about using this data when we talk with sponsors and and when we're doing campaigns, and we often joke in here the coffee with Captain Pump. So I will screenshot this and send it over to One and team to show that, look, we talked about ApeCoin on Wednesday and it ran up. We talked about ApeCoin again yesterday and it ran up. So the coffee with Captain Pump is real, and we are doing our job for our sponsors. I say this, and then now they will, the next time it dumps, they will hold it against me, probably kid. But in all seriousness, so when you talk about spaces and like what's being talked about right now, like that is I think just in itself, that is a way to for smaller spaces to to get information from this, to use this as to become a better host. Well, find out what others are talking about. If you're into coins, if you're into AI and your AI space today, you had an AI space this morning, specifically an InfoFi space this morning, and you're not talking about Kaido, you're probably doing it wrong. No offense, but they just had an announcement and it's the lead topic today. So I'm just, again, sharing through like kind of how my brain works is I will probably have this pulled up. I'm not going to share the screen every day, but I'm going to be on Lurky and see, okay, what's in the news this morning? What are other people talking about? And it's not a guarantee that I'm going to talk about it, but if something's been mentioned 76 times on 12 spaces in the last 24 hours, I'm going to click through and figure out what's going on. Is it relevant to my audience? And again, this morning, Steve brought it up, but had he not, I would have been like, oh, what's going on with Kaido? Oh, they had a big announcement. I'm going to talk about that. So I think like when we say like, I'm excited for the information, like it's a real, you're solving a problem for a real need in the marketplace. And if you can't tell, I'm a little bit excited because yeah, it's going to help me as a host, and I've been doing this for a while. So if you're a smaller or newer space, I think there's a lot of value you could find, you could leverage with this platform. Lurky, what?
Yeah, well said.
Go ahead, man. What? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think once the hosts realize that, like, all this information that they're missing and all the content pieces, like it sticks really fast. And where I'm excited to see that, and so I'm happy that you're see the value in it.
I mean, if you're hosting a gaming show, if you're a GameFi host and you're not talking about ApeCoin right now, you're doing something wrong. Like, and it's not just I said there's an ape chain space almost every day. Sentiment's very bullish. Like in the last 7 days, there's been 44 spaces, 219 mentions, more than 2x any other gaming coin. So again, if you may hate Yuga, you may be a Yuga fudder. If that's your topic, if that's your category, as you host spaces about gaming, you should be talking about Ape right now. Like it's over the last month, they've more than 2x the field. They've lapped the field, 410 mentions versus 61. People care. So if you want to be talking about what people are talking about, this is very valuable information here. And odds are you may pull in some of these other listeners, right? You may pull in some of these other spaces hosts. Like it's just like, this is to be in the know without having to go in and tune in to every Twitter space, which, we just said there's 50 going right now. It's virtually impossible. You can get all that information here in a snapshot, or if you see a space that's got a lot of people in it, tag. Am I correct in saying you could go in and you could tag Lucky Reverb and say what's the top 3 topics in this space, and it will give you the answer, assuming it was one of your first 3 requests on the day. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. I'll do one quick scan for any other questions, but I do want to get wrapped here. It's a busy morning. Before we let you out of here, though, is there anything, any final call to actions other than making sure everyone hits that ref link I pinned up top? Any other call to actions or anything you wanted to leave our audience with today?
Yeah, man. I think the big topic is we're trying to pave the way for audiofi. It's kind of like a new genre we're kind of calling it. And yeah, we're just beginning, and we're starting to see the PMF, and I hope you come and join along for the journey. And I'm chronically online, so if you have any questions, just DM me, and I can help you out as much as I can. And everything's gonna be improving. Like this, there's gonna be some mistakes here and there, and we register that, and it's just gonna be continuing to improve. But yeah, I really appreciate you having me up here. I've been following you for quite some time, and I'm glad that we were able to connect. And definitely, like I said, if you want to interest that with those API keys or anything like that, just let me know.
For sure, man. I really appreciate it. I probably I feel I owe you an apology because you have shown up. You've been engaging with us. I don't know why. My brain thought it was just another just another AI slop. I thought, honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, is this just one more of the, now we have 21 of these platforms out there that's just a copy pasta of Kaido. And I was wrong. Like, I'm just being real. Like, I just thought it was just another thing. We didn't need one more of these. This is very different. I love you're coining the AudioFi, because now you're the leader in AudioFi. You're not number 22 InfoFi project, right? Like, it may seem like semantics to some, but it's not. And having, being familiar with these protocols, this is very different than the other InfoFi that's in the wild today. And I think that's key. So we should, we'll definitely stay in touch. I'm gonna hit you in the DMs as well and see what else we can do with those APIs behind the scenes. And we should run this back here in a few months as developments come out. You guys keep shipping and doing new stuff, and I'll be rooting for you guys. So whether it's an acquisition by one of the incumbents, or you raise funds a different route, or maybe it's just a massively successful TGE and you've got funds you got runway for years, I will do what I can to help amplify this. Not because I want all the Lurky points and I want everyone to click my ref link that's pinned up top in the Jumbotron. I don't want you to go away, right? Like, I truly meant it. Like, I have missed super spaces. I used that platform for a lot of data. It helped me be a better spaces host, both for our clients, for our sponsors, and our audience. Many times we went in there and it's like, oh, Dow Jones has been here 100 spaces in a row. Teacher Katie has been here 100 spaces in a row. We want to recognize those individuals. We want to reward those individuals. We lost that ability to do that. And I'm getting it's genuine excitement and passion on my end, because this is a tool that I will use on a daily basis going forward to be a better host, and thinking through, like, how can I use it as a listener as well, right? Like, I will, I mentioned a couple times, I listened to Modern Market before this show. I'll probably tag Lucky Reverb, ask you some questions, and I'm excited to experiment, play around more, and yeah, we're rooting for you guys. I want to see you win and win big here. So congratulations on how far you've come, and really well done on every front, not just the concept, but the UI is pretty slick. It's easy to navigate. It's easy to move around. The campaigns, while points aren't necessarily some revolutionary idea, you got to start somewhere. And I think day one for me on the actual site, but it's about just right as far as like the amount. Right? There's not 70,000 campaigns, or it's like, where do I even start? There's more than just one. Even the fact that you're already doing something with virtuals as well, it's just like, I think it's well thought out, and you guys are going to crush it. So, anything in closing? Lurky?
No, I think there's a lot of information here, and if you missed it, go check out the report after. It will have all the information for everybody. So, yeah, man, I just really appreciate you taking the time today and hyping us up and talking, and it gets me going. And yeah, just let's keep in contact. I want to bounce off of you and see how we can help you pipeline stuff and get content. So, yeah, I just appreciate everyone that's also listening here. This wouldn't exist without you guys, and so. We hear you, we see you, we want to reward you soon, and yeah, just tune on along with our journey. And I'm going to be releasing the APIs here in a little bit, so be on the lookout for that post. And if you're interested, reach out to me.
I do have you've got a lot of tags in the chat, so if there's anyone you need any introductions with or any help following up with, let me know. I'm happy to help. I see BT Dwayne says, "Hey, Aaron Haber," tagged Aaron and Lockfryer, going to send you a DM about this Team Lurky, but you might want to listen back to this. I think this is a very valuable protocol for protocols and chains as well. Like I mentioned, how often Ape is the leading GameFi token, and it's talked about in conversation. Like I think the Ape Chain team could, and I know they have an existing relationship. I'm not exactly sure what it is, something with Wall Chain, but I do think that there's a lot of my wheels are spinning in a positive way this morning as far as like what this could become. In its current form, it's awesome. But you start talking about how do you monetize this thing? How do you what does that subscription model look like for users, for hosts, for brands? And I could see this being a very valuable tool for something like Ape Chain, something like Other Side, and helping them get data. That because one thing to talk about ape or to host an ape chain space, it's another whole other layer to actually get great insights and valuable, actionable information from those spaces to know, okay, this is something we should support more. This is like I just there's a lot here, and yeah, Dwayne, appreciate the tag there. I think you're on the right path, and yeah, if there's anything we can do to help along, even Andrew says 50 spaces going right now is crazy. He can only find 36 of them at the top of the XFeed page. So it's like you're not only is discoverability easier, you're doing a better job indexing spaces than is the native X app. Yeah,
I know, it's crazy, right?
It is. It really is.
It baffles me. But yeah, 100%. I can answer any of those questions if you want to DM me as well.
We'll do. One last question here from Sarah asks, is Lurky able to identify the anons listening in? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Like to count them, or you mean able to actually identify who they are? I'm guessing, are you able to identify maybe like when someone listens anonymously, I guess, like if they click the I want to listen anonymously, do they index at all?
So yes and no. We're working on this thing called listener mapping, and it's not out yet. And I think it's when we can improve on like the listener rewards. That's when that's going to be done. But yeah, so if you like join on a space and you're not logged in, I think it classifies you as anon, and like it'll go as like a other listener, like you won't have a profile or anything. Yeah, I mean, we can see that person's like there's a ping there, so like we can actually determine like I wouldn't say like your IP address, but like we can kind of see where that pinpoint's coming from like wherever device that you're on. So like we can kind of see, or is this person from India, or are they from Africa or Europe, or those types of things where they're pinging us from. So we can kind of determine that and see, like, do a profile on that. But unless we have that kind of information on their like profile itself, like it's hard to do a report on that. So it's technically kind of classified as a lower quality person.
It probably should be,
in
right?
our eyes.
It should be, because I know people, I'm sure there's actual human beings that click, they just don't want to be seen on the space for whatever reason. I don't want to be associated with this person or this host, so they listen anonymously. I talked about the bots earlier. Those other listeners, if you log into a space and there's 1,000 other listeners, it's bots. Like most of those anonymous things are bots. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And we want to categorize that. So like, say if you go to Mario's, like you said, he pulls in 10,000. Yeah, right. And we want to be able to determine that, because like that pipeline, that's like almost the pipeline I want to corrupt. Like they are doing all these shady backdoor deals, undisclosed stuff, probably dumping on your ass that that they're buying on the side. Like this isn't new information. This has been around for, I don't even know how he exists anymore, to be honest. We just keep on giving him the fucking limelight. But yeah, we want to find out those.
Thank you very much, because I don't like talking negatively about others. I don't like flooding other people. I understand it's a strategy for some. It's one thing to bot your space. Right? It's different though. It's kind of crossing the line if you're not disclosing it, and if there's other activity taking place at the same time, and the ability to connect that is valuable. And again, it's refreshing. Like I feel we have some sort of a duty to, I don't want to say protect the space. We're all adults here, do your own research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're also human beings, and most of us can be influenced by people, by accounts. And one of those things that catches our attention is number of listeners and some of the other stuff. So it's just like, this is valuable information and insight on many fronts, from hosts to listeners and everyone in between. So just want to say thanks again. Really impressed.
Yeah, and I'll just end on this with the Mario thing. Like the thing that I don't like about it the most is a company that is trying to get exposure, and they're like, they're looking for help, and like they're walking into a death trap because they're super. I've been in this situation with them. I've already gone through them and stuff, and they treat you really right, and they want to do this, and then they hit you with this pitch deck, and it's like $20,000 for a 30-second slot. And then people are like, well, I mean, there's 10,000, like, we can get some user growth and stuff like that. And then the only people that end up losing are the small companies that are trying to get themselves out there. And it's like, God damn, it's almost sickening. But that's the reality of what's happening on this. There's no transparency on both sides, and we want to help those small companies because they're in their growth phase, man. Like, it's expensive. Like, there's a lot of untapped good technology out there that just they might not know how to get seen and heard, and we don't want to, like, walk those people off a fucking cliff. We need to preserve the devs and continue to help them, not exploit them and extract from them. They're already putting enough time in and trying to build something. They don't need all their money gone too. So yeah, that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do this, is that they have great transparency between the company and or the host. We'll leave it on that. And 100%. And I'll leave it on that. I know we've been talking so much about it, and I'm super excited. And I'll be on Spaces later today and other ones if you want to hear me talk more about this. Just follow along.
Awesome. Well, really appreciate your time today. You also may get a DM from Husker, Pudgy Penguin PFP, in our War Room chat. He said the Lurky app has a great idea. I have the 500,000 RVB. And I think he might have some feedback for you on just specifically on the LLM. But he says has the bones to be something really cool and useful. And I would agree. So he's a big brain, a sharp one, and just be on the lookout maybe for that DM if he's got some feedback for you on the LLM specifically. But I appreciate your, not just what you've built, but your approach. You're not claiming to be perfect, but you are truly building in public and taking this feedback in real time and iterating. And that would be my request for everyone listening in, is if you have something that you'd like to see, share it. If you have something that you don't think is working, like, don't go fun them on the timeline. I guess if you're going to do it, start a space so they can index it and hear what you're saying about them. But I'm kind of half kidding, kind of serious. But yeah,
please do.
We went super long. I apologize to both Steve, who's moonlighting on another space right now, multitasking, and there's also the at the clubhouse space that we usually send everyone off to at 10 a.m. So I apologize to all of our Yuga family, all the ape friends, all those who are excited about other side. Go hit your bubble up or go learn more about DeFi with Steve and ICO. We will be back Monday morning as always, and just really appreciate your time today. Appreciate you're spending much more time with us than we expected, and thanks for not shunning me when I didn't immediately sign up my account, despite you've been supporting our show for probably 6 months now. So thanks for everything, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna slash you. Just kidding. No, I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Bathroom Blitz. So let's get in there. Like I have a coda, and I've been inside of the apes for quite some time. So let's connect further, and I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
For sure. Codas are the alpha, especially in Bathroom Blitz and beyond, but Bathroom Blitz is just getting started, just the first in-game utility for those codas. And there's a season going on right now. There's going to be a big, I think it's a $10,000 tournament with some gaming pros taking place today or tomorrow. I should remember. We just talked about it yesterday, but that's coming soon. Go hit that bubble up, go hit that stream, go check out some DeFi stuff with Steve. And as always, we'll be back next Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. As Steve would always say, we hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.